All right, y'all, before we start, because some of y'all be tripping, under the advice of counsel, I got to add that the views, thoughts, opinions that are expressed on this podcast are mine and mine alone. They do not represent my employer. All right, let's go.
Because I was like, damn, do we really want to get into this discussion? Because if we get into this discussion right here, y'all.
All right, y'all, what's up? We are back for another week of Ridgemont Forest Finest, the podcast. And today I got some of my favorite Texas high school counselors in the building. But first, before we get started, I want to give a shout out to today's sponsor of the show, the Right Experience Mobile Bartending Services. We're bringing the full bar experience to you. Y'all, we got like 2 signature drinks in here. We got the Ridgemont Forest Finest, which is like a blend of Crown Apple with some other extras in. And then what you drinking? The Educate to elevate, which is a reposado tequila, some lavender syrup, and some elderflower. It's real creative and colorful up in here, y'all. So we on one right now. But again, got my favorite Texas high school counselors in here. Y'all know we do no face, no case on the show. So we got aliases. So we got my guy Sean. Hello, Sean.
Hello.
We got my girl Pimp C.
Hey, y'all.
And we got my girl Sam.
Hello.
All right, so y'all, it's been a lot going on in the news today. I'm still tripping off this Marlin ISD story with accountability. You know, the superintendent of Marlin ISD has come on out and said, you know what? Did y'all wait? First of all, we talked about this a little bit already, but y'all know this man said he's stepping down from being the superintendent and he's going to take on the role as principal for the next school year to make sure that everybody gets it together. Gets it intact. Yeah, some people have inboxed me like, yeah, this dude doing all of this for show. But he's basically said, no, we're going to do accountability in this district, and accountability is seat time. Y'all asses wasn't in them seats. And so when you get it together, you do your credit recovery, get your hours together, then you can graduate. So he promised that there would be a 100% graduation rate, and he made good on his promise. I think all the kids graduated the other day. So they met their 100%, all 38 of them. So let's talk. So here's the thing, right? On all these comments on TikTok, people kept saying, well, the parents weren't made aware. How did the parents not know? How did the parents not know? And I'm like, if one thing is that a school is going to do, they're going to over-communicate with y'all. Now, if you're not paying attention to it, that's on you, but they're communicating. So I want to talk to y'all today about graduation requirements, attendance requirements, everything that is needed for a kid to walk across the stage, so the parents are not contacting you counselors in May talking about why my kid only got 3 hours. So let's get into that. All right, so let's talk attendance. What is the attendance rule? Who want to explain to the world what the attendance rule is?
So basically, you have to be in your class for 90% of the time. So you have to attend class every day and have no more than 10% of absences. So in the spring, it's 9 days, and in the fall, it's 8 days. So it just depends on the number of days that they have per semester. And so the days are continuous, and once you miss that 90% of seat time, you earn a no grade, and so then you don't have credit for
and that's the NG.
That's the NG.
Okay.
And that's per class.
That's per
Yes.
class.
Just school days.
Okay. So we got 180 school days. So you need to be there 90% of that time. Now, what is excused and unexcused? Because I was reading something. I don't step on y'all counselor things.
No,
Y'all shaking y'all head talking about no such thing. But I read, like, if you on some you blew taps at a funeral, that's an excused absence. If you went on a school sponsored college visit, that's not held against you. What are some other things that are not held against you as far as attendance?
Anything in the college readiness arena.
Okay.
You know, anything educational experiences that you may have had.
Okay.
Trips that you may have taken.
Mm-hmm.
You have to bring something back showing that's what you did.
Okay.
I think they do excuse. Those don't count against you.
They don't.
The
don't
excuse
count.
don't count against you.
Right.
Against you. Okay. What about doctor's notes? Because I think that's the what's the difference between a parent note and a doctor's note? Because I was told for my own kid, you can only have 5. I don't know if it's different across districts. You can have 5 parent notes and how many doctor's notes. So what's the difference between the two?
So it's just a parent note, but if you're starting to accumulate doctor's notes, then you look into other avenues. So
Like
then
504.
504. Then
Okay.
you go under the special ed umbrella, and then they'll try to do, if you need homebound services,
Mm-hmm.
they look at it that way. So you can't just say, oh, I'm going to come bring you 400 doctor's excuses
Mm-hmm.
and my baby still need to walk. It becomes, we need to find other ways to educate your child because they can't be physically here on campus.
Gotta be careful with going to the dentist. Gotta be careful with
Little stuff
making
like
your
that.
doctor's appointments. Yeah,
So in one of the comments, somebody said, well, the whole Marlon ISD situation was not about attendance. It wasn't about test scores. It was about CCMR. And I had to use my Googles because, that ain't my thing. So what is that? College Career Military
Military
Readiness.
yeah.
And so I was like, what the hell does that have to do with attendance and you not passing your classes?
Nada.
absolutely nothing.
So explain to me, somebody, what the hell is CCMR?
It is exactly what you just said.
Okay.
College career readiness, military readiness.
Okay.
And it has actually nothing to do with attendance.
Nothing to do with
So what is it? Why do we have it in
get
schools?
points
The school gets
for-
points
yeah,
for kids
those
being
programs
enrolled
that
in
you
those
have.
type of programs.
When you say points, you mean
So it's one
Accountability
point per
points.
child.
Mm-hmm.
So if your student, say for instance, passes the SAT with a high score, they get a point for the school. So the school has 3 domains in which accountability falls, and so it's domain 1, 2, and 3. And so in domain 3, you start looking at whether your students are ready to go to college, they have post-secondary readiness, whether they're going to military or whatever, and that's where those points come in at.
Okay.
So when they start doing your accountability where you get that A, B, C, D, or F grade,
the ratings?
That's part of
that's where that piece comes in at. So the more kids you have with 1 point, that balances out. So that one piece counts for 40% of an entire school
Wow.
accountability. So if you have tons of kids with no CCMR points, that's dropping your letter grade.
So when you start scheduling kids, you start looking into those classes that will allow you to, ROTC programs, CTE programs. Those are the things that they look at. when they start talking about
Okay, y'all done learned me something. All right. So let's talk dropout rate. Dropout rate in certain communities. I know before we started recording, we started talking about all the foolishness that's going on in HISD right now and how the new superintendent and some of his new targeted plans are hitting some of our highest needs areas in our communities. But these are areas that are also prone to having low graduation rates, high dropout rates. So what are some things that you guys think are contributing to the high dropout rates in high schools, period?
So I kind of I looked at that today, and just over time, you talk about socioeconomic status, economically disadvantaged kids, kids that are going right into your workforce, kids that are, parents of those kids who don't prioritize education, just the resources that may be available with the school, the partnership with the parents and the school, the partnership with the students and the school. So it's a lot. It's a lot. It's not just one. You can't put your finger on just one.
Right,
thing,
facts,
right?
facts.
And then so whereas I may prioritize it at my household, and my kid understands that, I have another kid who is the parent of their household, and I need to go to work, right now. So education is not that important. So it's a constant struggle, from what I've been working with.
So I know, the great thing about the table is that I think we probably all started in sticks, I say sticks, but the hood or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we've all kind of branched out to do our own things. And then some of us have branched out and then come back. I know, Sean, you're one that branches out and come back and then left again. Sam, you too. You too, Pip. I think, we all kind of did.
Stay
So
with it, though.
what are what are some differences that you see? I know you kind of mentioned something like in your household. Now I've taught one of your kids. I already know. I used to be scared to call your house when that baby didn't turn in something because I just knew what was on the other end of that phone
going down. It's going down.
when he got to you.
Yeah.
But what are some things that you guys think we could do to remedy that gap? Because I think we always talk about achievement gap, but I think that's a gap too, like a participation gap. So what are some things or some programs or things that we could put in place that would help remedy some of those things that we're seeing as far as involvement?
I think if you start with apprenticeships for our students, where there's a program where they're guaranteed a job, but they're working towards that job that they're guaranteed while in high school. And so it gives them an opportunity to have something to look forward to, because if you look at some of our kids, their highest grades are in their CTE programs because they already know that this is what's going to guarantee me a job. If I get this certificate, I can go get a job. And so if we could relay that message back to parents that, hey, look, we can start this apprenticeship program. He can get this job. He can get this certification, but we can still work on his educational background. That would be very helpful to some of those kids who they don't have any 4-year post-secondary goals or needs or wants. And then just making sure we educate the parent, fully educate the parent. I think we spit out a lot of terms. We say a lot of things. We say HB5, CCMR, blah, 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 blah. And the parent like, what in the hell?
What is
What she talking about?
They have
Yeah.
no clue what that is.
Right. And so I can spend an hour talking to you, and after the first 5 minutes, you looking in
Lost.
the sky.
Yeah.
Girl, I don't care. Just graduate my baby.
Right.
Yeah.
But if we could find small programs to help educate them, then they're in turn going to educate their child, and then it's going to be everybody's going to find the importance of education again.
I also think that we could probably do a better job. I don't know where the funds are going to come from or any of that. The same way we push STEM in elementary and middle school, if we could push some of those crafts like welding or HVAC or any of those things earlier, the same way we press, STEM on the kids would probably be helpful too, because we could do intro in middle school, and then by the time they get to high school, then they working towards their certification in those areas, and they come out with something, so then they can go to work. But I guess the only place that has the funds to, or the means is STEM to be able to press that at an earlier
And bring it back.
Yeah.
Bring it back to some of the schools that they've taken it away from.
Correct.
Right.
Because that's who needs it.
Right,
Yeah.
That's who
because,
needs it.
For example, there are certain schools who those programs would thrive and did thrive. They moved into another campus.
Correct.
We bust kids out from school to that campus.
That's true.
You make it more difficult for them to participate in those programs.
And then if you focused on the area of need, then you would know what works better for,
That
certain
that community,
right?
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to force something on them that, unfortunately, and as bad as it may sound, it just may not happen because that's not the culture of the community that they growing up in. So
So I know that the area in which I pay taxes in, I have to say it like that, the area in which I pay taxes in has a huge tech college, right? And the kids have the opportunity to go to school, earn their high school diploma and an associate's degree at the same time, or trade if that's what they choose to do, right? So they have barbering, they have welding, they have plumbing, HVAC, they have cosmetology for the girls. They have all these body shop, auto mechanic. They have so many things available for these kids to do, right? But it's just like you said. So here's the area that we're in, and where we are, it's a mix. So you got kids that can either go to the college or go to the workforce. But some of these kids that know college may not be my thing. If I go to college, it's gonna be going because I'm gonna be somebody running back or I'm gonna be somebody shooting guard. But I still want to get my barber license, or I still want to get my cosmetology license. But because of the way they have the school and the hours, the kids can't play sports and go get my license. So we have some kids that are phenomenal. In our area, these kids play soccer for real, play soccer. Like, they traveling, so they may miss 2 weeks of school because they in Brazil for a soccer tournament. But I want to do plumbing. But now I can't play soccer with the school because you telling me my auto mechanic job where I got to go down and work at the Ford dealership, and the Ford dealership says I can only work from 12 to 5. So I have to make decisions. And a lot of times these kids are making the decision to go ahead and go to work instead of living out their dreams or even trying to be prepared to go to college. So I think we need to try to figure out a way that we can flip some of that to make these programs available for all the kids at all the times. So I think that's a good thing. Now, what about the parent that'll tell you, I didn't hear from you, or I don't understand what requirements are? Somebody break down what are the basic requirements to graduate high school in the state of Texas. How many y'all got like 4 or 5 programs, right? Is it me as a parent of a high schooler that don't know shit? How many programs?
Well, there's 2 for sure.
It's 2 for sure.
Foundations, and then
and
the distinguished at 26.
Okay, so 24 credits.
22.
22
Foundation
credits.
is
for
22.
foundation.
Okay, and then 26. So somebody tell me the difference between foundation, and distinguished. See, that when I was growing up, we had like 4.
Community college versus a 4-year
Or
university.
basically,
The
that's it.
The
To keep it-
true
Okay.
difference is whether or not you take English 2.
English.
I mean,
too?
algebra 2.
Algebra.
Oh, okay.
Algebra 2.
Whether or not you take algebra 2. That makes
Really?
you a distinguished level
Correct.
of achievement.
Wait, but that's 4. So how many? Because you said 22 and 26. That's
So when you go into 26, the 22, that's the bare minimum
Bare minimum.
plan.
Okay.
That's 4
years.
English,
3
3
math,
math,
Mhm.
3
3
science, 3
3
social
social
studies, your electives, fine arts, PE, foreign language.
mm-hmm.
Then when you go to 26, that's where your endorsement comes from.
Mm.
So
Plus 4 years of math.
well,
Plus
4 years of math, 4 years of English, 4
Okay.
years of science.
Yeah, take an extra science and extra math.
So now let's talk about endorsements because I don't think a lot of parents understand. So we get to 8th grade and the counselors come in the 8th grade and they're telling parents endorsement. Wait, let me pause that because I want to go back to something you said too because it reminds me. You said something about we use all these terminologies and these acronyms when we're in these meetings with these parents, and I've always said that a lot of times we go in these meetings and we're talking over parents' heads, right? And they don't want to sound dumb or sound like they don't know what we're talking about. So they just nod and smile like, when they know damn good well
They don't know.
they
what
didn't
to
understand
They don't know what
anything
you're talking
that we said. And they're kind of embarrassed to pause us or halt us and say, can you please explain to me what that means? So that's why my trifling ass as a parent is asking the counselors, explain to myself and the other people what endorsements are.
I'm gonna just tell you the way I try to explain it to 8th graders, and somebody else can take the other piece. Is that basically the endorsement is kind of like your, correct me if y'all think I'm wrong, it's kind of like a degree plan.
Yeah.
You have your credits that you're supposed to earn to be distinguished, 26 credits, and in that, your endorsement is your focus
Right.
on the career class that you want to take. And so I try to explain to them, like in a college degree plan, these are the classes you take. The only way you can graduate and get your degree is if you have these classes for this many hours. The only way you graduate with your high school diploma, you get your degree, is if you have these classes and you also have these in addition to make sure that you met the requirement for your, endorsement.
And
But
that's- to piggyback off of that, that's actually how I talk.
Okay.
But the problem with that is the parents I'm talking to didn't go to college, right? So they're still confused.
Yeah.
Right.
So I actually pull it out, and I talk to them just
Yeah.
like that. Like,
It's-
like you need to tell me exactly, what it is you want. What are your interests? So like back in middle school, you would probably have career inventories that you do,
Right,
Naviance
right.
or something like that, right? You find out, hey, you're going to this school. This school offers these programs,
Right.
And it's exactly like she said. It's a degree plan,
Right.
Because once you get there, you have to obtain those credits, 120 something hours to graduate from
Ooh,
college,
child.
22 hours. So it's a constant struggle back and forth. But you have to educate, going all the way back to what you said. You have to educate that
The
parent,
parent as well.
Yeah,
so that
and-
they can understand this is what you're talking about.
I try to tell them, like, if I was going to be an engineer, my degree plan would not be the same as somebody who's going to be in education. The amount of hours I need is not going to be the same as somebody that is in education. So the classes you taking for this endorsement, because sometimes they'll say, well, can't I do 2? No, baby, it's not going to work like that. You may end up with one like in arts and humanities or something like that, simply because you're just taking an elective for art every year. But you won't be able to do cosmetology and health science.
Right.
Because the degree plan is different.
Can't do nails and be a CNA at the same time.
No,
Right.
even though you could in
Prerequisites.
real life.
Right.
But, you
this
can't
class,
do
you're not.
that in high school. So that's kind of how I explain it to them and try to kind of get them to understand that it's just basically, a degree plan. And like
That's
you
what it
said,
is,
because
yeah.
the parents haven't been to college, they don't understand. You really do have to break that down like even more.
Yeah.
So I know I have a 21-year-old now, right? And so when he started, he went in like, I'm gonna just do business. They all these black boys say that. I don't know.
What
I'm
kind
gonna be
of
an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just go there. So he selected a business endorsement, right? So after freshman year, he was like, nah, I'm good on that. I think I want to be a paramedic, a EMT. And I was saying, what? That's a big jump, right? So when you get an endorsement, I think it's important for parents to understand when do you need to solidify your endorsement? I think he had room to wiggle around from freshman to sophomore year.
That's it.
But
that's it.
At the end of the
In the sophomore year,
need
you have to
some
lock in.
Okay, so you ain't no changing it at that point.
Some people won't even let you change your
From the front.
From freshman, yeah.
It's
Okay.
just because you have to make
You
up
have to
those
meet the
classes.
requirement,
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so you're going back to freshman classes and you're trying to make up, you have to take 4 consecutive classes. So that's usually freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior, and that'll make up the 4 classes.
That's how you get that point
Right.
that we were
Yeah.
talking
Okay.
You're
Okay.
Back to CCMR, that's a whole nother.
Oh, Lord, that sounds like a monster right there.
It is, and I don't think parents truly understand the importance of why we push these programs. Is basically, like I tell my kids, it's like we're giving you 4 years to test drive what you want to do for the rest of your life. So if you don't like it now, don't go to college and major.
Right.
Right.
And so
Waste your
that's
money.
Giving you time and opportunity to see that now. But I think in the 8th grade or starting in the 9th grade, that's a tough decision to make. I want to be an engineer in the 9th grade because it sounds like it's going to make me a lot of money. But then when I get into the engineering class and I realize I have to know math, I don't want to do engineering anymore. And so I think that flip-flopping and I like it now, I don't like it now is what's really causing a lot of hindrance to schools because those classes count for a lot for schools, and that's a lot of funding that comes with those classes and having kids in those classes. So it's a double-edged sword, but I'm gonna leave my opinion to myself.
No, we need your opinion. We need to hear. All right, so far for graduation, we got the 90% rule for attendance. We have the credit hours. These are the exact credit hours you need. Let's talk STAAR EOC. So everybody head went down when I said that. So we know in middle school now, I'm trying to choose how I'm going to say this correctly, right? Okay, back in the day, when we were in junior high together, middle school together, you ain't passed, you ain't go nowhere. We had some 15, 16-year-olds at Albert Thomas Middle School because
Chilling.
they hadn't passed that test, right? But now it's, everybody, we're still in grace and everybody goes on and we don't want to
Just go to summer school.
yeah, just go to summer school. And then summer school's not really required, but, we'll make up those house bill 45 hours later. It's just not a big deal. We just want everybody to just be relaxed because we don't want to diminish the child's their self-esteem and their self-efficacy. We don't want to do that to them. So guys, just do it at your own pace. That's kind of where we are now. And so parents, and I'm glad y'all are here because I talked about this on a couple of other shows before. We had a bunch of parents when we finished STAAR testing this May that were like, opt out. And I was like, that shit sound real cute right now because opting out of middle school is just you keeping your kid home that day. But when they bring their ass back, we're gonna get that data. When you get to high school, ain't no opting out. And so these parents are like gun-ho in some of these Facebook mom these groups that they are now calling terrorist groups, the Moms for Liberty. But it's like, I opted my kid out. I printed this letter out on the TA's. Bitch, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Because ain't nobody told you that you could do that. And so I want you guys to explain the requirements for STAAR EOC as it relates to high school and graduation.
Well,
Got to
Gotta
pass.
You gotta pass.
It's just
So
plain and
it's
simple.
5 tests that you gotta
English
take. You
1,
gotta take English 1,
biology,
2.
English 2,
English 2,
biology,
algebra.
Algebra 1, and U.S. history. So you got 5. Out of the 5, this is my understanding as a parent. I hit you up the other day because I was like,
Yes.
oh no.
I'm
3, you gotta pass 3 out of the 5, right?
In order to be
In,
eligible.
in order to be eligible.
Or,
IGC.
there you go.
Oh, whoa. Come back. Oh, it ain't an automatic.
No.
No.
Oh, okay, wait, pause. Let me stop talking. Let me let y'all educate.
We're going to get you.
Look, let me be quiet.
Coming up, we're going to get you going.
I need y'all to educate the people because see now I've learned something. So tell me about that. I thought it was just do
Pretty
you
much.
3 out of 5.
No.
I'm talking big shit at the house, boy. Just 3 out of 5.
No, 3
Don't
out of 5.
tell them that
gets
no
you-
more.
Okay.
Please don't do that. Right. It gets you an
It gets you
opportunity
eligible.
Oh.
To do
to do
IGC.
IGC.
Now what is
But-
the IGC?
Here we
You
go.
still have to continue to take the
The
test.
test
Yeah,
until
exactly.
you
It-
pass it or until you don't.
Don't.
Yeah,
You
still
can't
have
just
to
say
take
I
it.
failed it once
You
and I'm
can't just
done.
say, I took 3. I passed 3 and I'm good.
Yeah, no, you have
No,
to
you gotta-
continue.
So you'll
to
be a
take the
senior still taking English 1 if you ain't
Yes,
passed it.
ma'am.
Correct. All the
Absolutely.
way up until the final
The final.
May.
Shut
Find
the
that.
door.
Absolutely.
Okay, now what is IGC? Individual Graduation
Graduation
Committee?
Correct.
Okay, somebody explain that. Wait. Let's start over. Cause I'm like, shit. I've been talking shit at the house.
You're gonna have to.
Oh, I need
Yeah,
to
run
I
that
need
back.
to
You
run
got
that
to
back.
retract.
Oh, okay. All right. So let's start over. So we got 5 EOCs, and you need to pass all 5. Let's start there.
Yeah.
You need to pass
Right.
all 5
Basically.
EOCs in order to graduate. We need to start there. But in the event that you are having difficulty with biology or U.S. history, so you're missing 2. So now you're at 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5 makes you eligible for an IGC or individual graduation committee. And explain to me what that is, or explain to the audience what an individual graduation committee is.
So we've done all we can to try to get you to pass your EOC.
Mhm.
So what'll happen is a committee with a teacher, your assistant principal, your counselor, and some other people, parent and student, will get together. They'll give you a project. You have to complete that project. Once you complete that project, they will give you a grade on that project. The committee will then come back and meet and say whether or not they agree as a committee that you should graduate based on the performance of your project.
What the hell? Okay, I've seen. Okay, I've heard it be referred to as a portfolio. So that's what
That's
it is.
correct.
That's the
Yeah.
project.
There's,
Okay.
there's writing,
It's a writing,
a writing piece, and
then that's for English.
Right.
And then
It's
for
something
the,
online. Too,
something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they
That,
put
that's
you in a
kinda new
course,
to me,
and
the
Yeah.
online part.
yeah, they put you on an online course as well.
Like an ingenuity? No, that's not. That's different. That's credit recovery.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
Well,
something.
it's sort of similar. It just,
Uh-huh.
it just kind of depends on what your particular campus.
When I tell you, I am mind blown right now because I've been talking big shit. Like, boy, don't worry
Go
about
ahead and
this.
stop
him
talking
like
about
that. Yeah.
My man needs to pass.
Tell him
off.
to log on
Yeah.
to this.
And then,
Yeah.
all right.
And
So
that's not until your senior year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you don't get the
Oh.
project until
Yeah,
like
until the
January
week before
second,
graduation.
Yeah, second
oh
semester.
wow.
Because,
How
like
about-
I said, you still take
You
the
still have to
test.
take the
Even
test.
in May,
Yeah.
if in May, April, May, whenever your test comes up,
Right.
you still have to take it that final time.
And when that raw score comes back and says that it's a possibility that you may or may not pass.
Zone of uncertainty.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
that thing.
Uh-huh. That new thing. That
terminology,
we in.
right? I
Yeah.
was
What the
like,
hell
what
was
is this
that?
again?
Yeah.
Yeah. So at that point, you say, okay, well, this kid may make it, may not make it. Let's go ahead.
So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and give him the
Let's
project.
go ahead and give him an
Ah.
opportunity, because if it comes back that he doesn't, make
Right. When the state makes up their mind as
it,
to what
the
they
day
want.
before graduation,
Yeah.
it's
Or the
like,
day of.
yeah, day of, it's like, kid, you can't walk. Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so this brings me to my next question. So now we got the STAAR, we got attendance, you got to pass your classes. You need a 70, right? The yearly average has to average out to a 70. So I know we break it down
Course
in
credit.
Whole
Yep.
course credit.
whole course credit. Oh
140.
shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So y'all tell me something. New.
139.5.
5.5.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
Lord.
0.5 counts. Yeah. Learned that the hard way.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So we got all of these things that we attempted to do, and so now my baby is a senior, and I looked online, and the calendar for the district say we graduate at the Toyota Center on May the 29th. And I done told all my family from El Paso to California to Queens, New York, to get their airline tickets because baby Pookie graduating on May 29th at Toyota Center.
You did this before talking to the registrar or after?
I did it before because I looked at the calendar online, and that's when they
Yeah,
said the
that's
graduation.
just
Your bad, baby.
And that's what they said graduation was. But now, after I bought Pookie prom tickets and we did the whole prom, cookout at the house, he come back and tell me that he missing 5 credits. And I'm like, what you mean you missing 5
Not
credits?
5.
5.
Not
Pookie say he
half.
missing 5.
Not 5.
5. That's
5.
right.
What you
I knew You
mean?
wasn't graduating
In
You're
January.
missing 5. You're not even classified.
But why?
Correct.
You're
why
not even 5.
Not even a
you
senior.
you still a junior, my boy.
why didn't the school notify me?
They did.
Why didn't? So that's what we got
Depends
right
on what
now.
district you're in, right?
No, everybody knows.
everybody
In terms of
notified.
communication.
It's called a
Because
report
communication
card.
is quite different from district to district.
Oh,
Everybody
called
give
a
a report
report
card.
card.
That is true, but how you get that report card is different.
how?
Well,
Ain't nobody,
'cause-
everybody not online right now?
It's further down south, you
Mm-hmm.
online.
We
Further up north in the city, in this big city that we in, you're not online.
Really?
You may be online via power or something that they use up that way, but then you may or may not get that notification. Parent may or may not be on there. We got people coming to pick up report cards. That's the foreign thing out,
That's
out
so
south.
1992.
Because
Hey.
it's online for sure.
Hey,
Okay, so now that
Just
brings
saying.
us back to accountability and communication, right?
Mhm.
So we know And now some people like, oh, it's 2023, you know, we doing this gentle parenting thing, whatever. You know, since you started going to school and your mama sent you to school and your grandma sent you to school, that I send you to school to get your lesson, as my granny used to say.
Go get it.
You supposed to come on with some marks. That's what my granny used to say, some marks. Where your marks at? So somebody knows as they're dropping you off every day and you coming home every day. When your mama asks you, do you have homework, and you lie and you say no, somebody knows that you're supposed to be coming home with something that tells us how you are doing in school. We got another round of drinks. Oh, hello. Can I have baby, this was good. What round is that, Sean? We're going to mind my business. Never mind.
3 for the hood.
Mama business. But somebody is getting some marks. So I always argue with people online about the whole parent accountability because what I know about people is that we're going to give every excuse to not parent our kids and to not be responsible for their education. But there's no way in the world that you are not being communicated with in some way, shape, or form. And so it's almost at the point, we joke a lot on TikTok, but people really do want you to send a carrier pigeon. Like, bitch, I done email, text message, certified mail. I done came to your house and did a dancing telegram in a G-string. What more do you want from me? You know, before you tell me that nobody has notified you or communicated with you that whatever. But we go back to prom. How you know all of this?
They know.
You got all the dates and the information, and the baby got on Balenciagas. You got a Rolls Royce. You taking a photo shoot.
We got the driver.
Yeah.
We got everything.
We got everything.
Yeah.
And y'all done had a whole pre-prom party at the house.
Prom party.
Yes.
I mean, it's like seriously though, like out this way, right? Everything is online. Nothing comes home. Nothing's in the mail. You don't get a nothing's coming through the mail. Up north, it's come to the school and pick up the report card.
That's wild.
What is that? Right? So I always get in trouble with that because, I mean, you figure, you sent an email. Well, everybody doesn't have internet. Huh?
I'm so sick of
like,
it.
with this 20, what
Yeah.
we do? Like, everybody has a cell phone, right?
Yeah.
You know, so when you have those conversations with parents and you say, well, are you on this particular platform? What is that?
Kid been in school for
Wait
12
a minute.
years. What is that?
I calls are coming in. Did my kid, was my kid promoted? Man, we're in high school.
We're in high school. What do you
There's
mean
no
promoted?
promotion here. Like, what are we talking about? Did they receive enough credits? Yeah, so have you talked to your child's counselor?
Do you know who your child's counselor is?
Do you even know who that person is?
That's where we are right now.
Yeah.
But we still sending out paper copies and phone calls home. June 6th,
Not happening.
the
Not this
report
one.
cards will be issued to your student.
Correct.
Check your student report
Like an all call, call out, whatever
just
they
to
call
let
it.
them know
I
that
got
the
a
report cards are
text.
coming out or something.
I got an email that said your child's report card is now updated in this platform.
But if you are like you, again, I done taught your kids. I already know what time it is. I could put a vocabulary assignment in at noon. By 12:01,
What's up?
Well, he got a 0. What is that?
What he did.
Shit.
Yeah.
And I used to tell him, boy, hey, please, I'm not finna put this grade in because I already know if I
your
put it
daddy
in,
calling.
your
Your daddy
daddy
coming.
and your mama gonna try to save you, but I can't, me and your mama cool, but I'm cool with your daddy too. And you gonna get me and your mama cussed out because your daddy gonna come for both of us. So when you have that real time stuff, I don't really need to wait for your report card because I know what time it is already. I don't need that.
That
But you
goes
got to
back
go
to
in
you.
and set that up.
What you mean? We do that on Meet the Teacher when we come. Oh, no?
I'm
Okay.
gonna tell
But
you
in
what
the
the
house-
real problem is. First of all, you got to give the people the correct contact
Hello.
information. Okay?
How many cell phones you got at work?
That's where we
Which one
got to
is it?
start first.
The
Can I
voicemail
please-
box is
You
full.
ain't supposed to be at this school, no
Can I
way.
Right.
No. You're not supposed to
Let's
be-
verify your
So may I
address.
please
Yeah,
get
yeah,
the
they gonna
correct
come knock on that
contact
door.
information? That's problem numero uno.
Yo, when we do PSAT testing, I know I'm off track, but when you register with College Board and the kids they tell you register for your account, put your address in, right? And the kids are putting it in and the thing is bouncing back incorrect. And so I have to say, put the address in that your mama said
used for the
when
school.
she registered you to go to school here.
Yeah.
Not your Sunnyside address. You gotta put
No.
you gotta put your Missouri
Put
City
that fake
address in.
Don't forget to put grandma address in there.
Right. Or your mama's boyfriend, like you got to put the right address in. And so I say that, but that correct information is another important thing because if you've given us your Cricket Mobile that you had 3 years ago,
It's dead.
baby, that's what we sending these messages to, and that's why you're not getting any communications. Or
It's tough.
I had a parent tell me, well, I don't check that email unless it's about money. Baby, that's the email that you registered him for school. How you want me to communicate with you then?
It's tough.
So we have that parent communication thing is a real battle that we're fighting. And I think parents need to understand that they want it so bad to be 2023, but they also want it so bad to be 1992. Because I still get parents to say, well, can you just send a note home? Girl, no, I'm not doing that. First of all, I ain't got no copy. I got a copy code and I got like 5 copies left for the year, but I got to print out some STAAR review packets. So I can't.
And did you block the number?
You blocked my number.
Because
Yeah,
the AP
that's
called
what I
for
was about to
discipline.
say. I unblock the
Yeah, we got an
school
AP in the building, but he's sitting back
I see his
observing.
face. Look, I'm watching his face. He's
AP,
like, yeah,
AP
they
shaking
blocked
his
that
head.
number.
Oh,
he coming to
AP
the
coming.
table
AP
now.
coming to the table.
Coming to the
But
table.
AP that deals with discipline in the high school. AP, what we got for these phone numbers? What kind of foolishness are you hearing from these parents when you finally get a hold of them after all the voicemail box full, you send the carrier pigeon and everything?
I mean, it's the same thing that y'all talking about. It's always the school's fault. It's always, put back on us. It's never really any accountability on the parent or the student or anything. It's always, always, always on us.
Yeah.
So-
'Cause I beg my kid, like, look, man, you at this age now where you need to be checking emails daily.
Correct.
Because I'm talking, whatever you tell me, best believe I'm calling to find out.
Oh, he always that baby could breathe.
I'm telling you now, if this is what you're saying, be certain this is the truth because I'm going to call and find out. And if she tells me, well, I sent him, you're used to this. You've been used to this, so it's not new to you.
And it's not your first time going. This is not your first rodeo. The child has been failing since kindergarten.
Yeah, you know this. You know this.
So you already know.
Oh, yeah.
You need to start checking his grades. He done had F's.
But
since
nobody
the beginning
told
of
me
the
he
time.
was failing. Well, man, where have you been?
But he knew. He
He knew. Oh.
Yeah.
So
got
he
them
told his mama
12s.
he was getting ready to graduate.
Yeah,
Ma'am, your son is still classified as a freshman.
Correct.
I'm sorry.
For the 4th time.
that's
Yeah.
what happened.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think
That's
the
what
difference now, though, is the consequences, like y'all talked about earlier, right? Like you get to high school and it's now real consequences. You can't graduate unless you've passed this or done this or whatever. Whereas before, it's kind of like, oh, we'll
Social
just,
promotion.
yeah, we'll just push
But
you
what
along.
are the true consequences? Because if you don't pass that class, what are we gonna do to ensure you pass that class?
We're gonna get you across that. Now I talk about that a lot too, because from my high school experience when I was teaching at a school in HISD, baby, we're gonna drag you by your teeth across the stage because if you don't graduate, that ultimately
Comes
is
back
gonna be a
on me.
ding against us. And now my job is on the line because our graduation rate is low or our dropout rate is high. And so I'm a portfolio tap dance, I'm a fudge the portfolio. We're gonna do whatever we gotta do to make sure you get across that stage so that my school doesn't take the ding. So I'm like him, or like you, what are the true consequences? There ain't none.
No.
They aren't any. We sitting in the parking lot on graduation
Trying to
day,
figure out what's
trying
going
to figure
on.
out how we can get you through this edgenuity course by 3 o'clock. So
Are
you can
y'all
walk across
serious?
those
we
steps.
can make it to the stadium
Yeah.
Yeah.
from the school.
Are y'all for real?
Yes.
from the?
I've not had that issue, but
Oh,
We've been sitting in the
some.
parking lot.
I've
click
been
the
at
button.
the school
Really?
until 3 o'clock, and graduation is at 5. So
We
I
trying
got
to
my
get you
clothes
out.
in the car because I already know I'm going straight from the school.
Now, how far in advance have y'all notified the parent that we are
Beginning of the
here?
year, middle of the year,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
every
They
6
have
weeks,
multiple-
just about.
multiple-
And even though we give those
Oh,
deadlines, those are threats because they're empty threats. Because we know we gonna be in the parking lot at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
That is wild.
We had an at-risk list since the beginning of the year. It was a list of students who had issues based on academics, attendance, whatever. And we kind of followed that list and had our eyes on those students the whole entire time. So we would be calling, texting, meeting with those parents, whatever, throughout the entire year. And still getting up to
Y'all didn't
graduation day. It's like going back and forth with the parent, going back and forth with the kid, trying to do everything we can to get them qualified to graduate. It's crazy.
Let me ask you this, because I'm always go to sports mode. How many of these kids be athletes that we done passed along this whole entire? You done drink your water and turned your head because you already know what time it is. You coach's wife. How many of these kids be athletes and we keep them eligible, UIL eligible,
Had it
all the way
athletes,
through?
right?
Yeah,
They
I'm gonna say
graduate.
you're not gonna have those
Yeah.
issues.
They stay ready.
Yeah,
Okay.
They gotta have their 16 credits by
Just to
their
play.
senior year in order to be eligible to go to
Oh.
college.
Oh,
So we're not gonna have those problems.
No.
That's what I thought.
See, we here. He already know where I'm going with
That's
this.
what I thought until this year.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, wow.
When you are valuable, when you are needed, When the school and the coaches need you, they gonna do
You said
whatever.
no comment. Is that what you said?
We say no comment. Oh, see, and you
Oh,
know
she said
too.
she's gonna keep that to herself.
You gonna drink your Ridgemont Folks Finest. You already
Get this
see.
man a drink.
I might need another one.
See, and then these are the kind of conversations, though, guys, that I love having because people are so oblivious to the realities of public education. There are so many different intricate details when it comes to public education, and we talk so much shit, but we like, nah, this real shit we talking. Like, these are things that are actually happening. But and we're gonna have a whole nother episode when it comes to athletics. I think I got your husband peeing for one of these shows.
Chime into that one.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I think whereas we're doing great because the school needs them and you're going to get us to state and blah, 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 we're really doing you a disservice because after these coaches are done using you running up and down the field, when they get their title, they don't give a damn about your credits or what happened to you. They don't give a damn. Unless you D1 and you're going to shout them out.
Yeah.
But hell, how many of them go D1 and then they get to D1 and baby, you a million. It's a million of y'all here.
Come on.
You came from Houston, but we got a D1 5-star from Nevada. We got a D1 5-star from East Texas. You just another, little fish in the big pond.
Do they have a transfer portal in high school?
You would think with all these damn fake ass addresses y'all use. Let me
important.
sip my
Get back
drink.
on topic. Get back on topic.
But yes, they do.
They do.
So
Yeah.
once you transfer, you have to sit a year
Oh yeah, I know.
before you
I know.
go.
But if football season is
Let me
over
try
with
to-
in December, oh no, I'm sorry, in November, because we didn't make it to the playoffs of the state, and then I transfer, I'm gonna just use this as an example. No, don't sue me, Pasadena. I'm gonna transfer from Dobie to Pearland High School in December, and that's my year, right? Because I did the second semester. That's not my year.
Oh no, you're
It's-
gonna sit the whole academic year.
year.
Oh,
Yeah, you're gonna sit, and that's contingent upon the athletic director,
Director.
oh,
the coach that you left.
Oh,
You
let me
know.
sip my drink because
It's
that's
a
not
whole
what's
lot of
happening.
politics into that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Depending
I'm-
on what school you go to and,
Okay.
and whose
And
son
how
is at
bad
that
they
school.
need you.
And how bad they need you.
Right,
I'm gonna sip
right,
my drink
right.
because, baby, I know that to be false. But anyway, let's sip. So let's move on before my baby be sitting on the sidelines. The people already can't stay on my ass. Let me be quiet. All right. So let's move on to talking about the issues that school counselors face when it's time to collaborate with teachers. I say this part, especially those of you that are 504 coordinators or some of you that are maybe on graduation committees and you need certain things from teachers. How difficult is the collaboration with teachers, your colleagues, when you need your shit?
Difficult. Because they don't understand our world.
Mm-hmm.
They understand their world. And I'm teaching. I got to educate these kids. I got to get all these teats done. I got to get this done. And I still have to make sure that the kids are ready to pass the STAAR.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever I'm asking for is irrelevant
Mm-hmm.
until I have to make it relevant.
Right. And I got to involve my man over here, my AP, because
Or until it affects them in
Correct.
some type of way, then it
Correct,
becomes
yeah.
important.
Or until a parent calls and say, well, why weren't you following my kids' accommodations?
and then I go OCR on y'all ass.
And then we all looking at each other like, girl, I gave you that information months ago. What the hell you calling me for?
Right. So what kind of accountability is there for? I'm gonna talk to the administrator in the building. But what kind of accountability is there for teachers when the counselors need something? And I'm saying that because I've had an issue before too. When we had a 504 meeting and everybody put their input in, but I had a specific question as it related to biology accommodations for the EOC. And the biology teacher was the only one that had not put their input in. And they were not present at the meeting. And I was like, oh, that's fine. But, I need your input because I need to know if we could be able to use certain accommodations. And after 5 or 6 emails to God and country, I still hadn't heard from anybody. Nobody had ever held this teacher accountable. So now we get on admin. So I know, especially in schools that we have in Texas, y'all 6A, damn near 8A schools. Where's the accountability when it's like, okay, we got a parent that may know her shit. We may get an OCR complaint filed against us. I need you to do what this parent asked you to do. It's very simple what this parent asked you to do.
Yeah, so behind the scenes, I mean, we if I'm being real.
Okay, please be. This drink number 4 for you.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
behind
be
the
real.
scenes. So we start to identify those type of parents, right? And whether the teachers know who they are or not, like admin knows, counselors know. So we're gonna be like, hey, you really need to be on top of your stuff. Now, granted, is that fair? Should we be doing that for every student?
Right,
Whatever
right.
the case might be. Yeah, whatever. But at the end of the day, like, consequences can get very serious for a teacher, for admin, for school, whatever. So we try to avoid all that. The way that I try to approach it is, I try never to get too far away from I'm still a teacher. So if I'm coming to you like, hey, let's just get this done. Let's move forward. Let's work at it this way, opposed to like I'm coming at you as like I'm your boss. You know what I mean? Like hopefully we can work together to get it done. But sometimes teachers are kind of set in their ways or stubborn, or they see it from a different lens, and it's like, all right, well, if you want to go the hard way.
Have any of y'all ever had to go to due process? OCR? Nobody? Everybody's been fortunate?
Ooh, thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus. All right.
Communication is the
Knock
first
on
thing on the
somebody
list.
wood.
We're going to communicate.
We're going to communicate. We're going to avoid. Avoid this
by
here.
any means
Because that's what we don't need.
We're going to communicate.
Okay, that's good. That's good. All right, so let's go back to college and career readiness. All right, so we talk about college and career readiness, and it's often debated. Do you believe that the push should be college readiness for all kids? I don't know how long you were in HIZ, but you remember when we look here, she's like, no. When we were in HIZ and we had what's old buddy name? Was it Savor? Back in the Gap.
Yeah.
And it was all students are going to college. And we were like, boy,
I
please.
think that's when it started, right?
Yeah. All students in HIZ are going to college. And we'll be like, nah, they took the aviation program away from Sterling.
Yep.
They took away, we had an
Start taking
auto
programs out of high school.
body mechanic shop in Jones. They took those things out. And it's like, no, because everybody's going to college, baby. Because this one, I said this before this week on TikTok. This one, daddy owned a landscape company that's $1 million profit. And this one, daddy owned a Mako down there on the Beltway that's profiting. This one, daddy is the dope man of Sunnyside. So he ain't got to go to college. Like, these college ain't what it is.
Say
So
what Jay-Z said, ain't for everybody.
ain't for everybody. So I don't know if y'all know I'm a Narcos fanatic, right? And so I watch Narcos on repeat. And the brothers, I can't think of their name, was 4 brothers. And they were all big time businessmen, but they were big in the cocaine game. And one of them had a son, and he was like, nah, you will not get into this game. What I'm gonna do is send you to law school. You're gonna be the lawyer. You were the intelligent one. And that's what he did. And so, okay, what other kind of programs can we have for these kids to run their family's business that doesn't mean we're necessarily sending them through a 4-year, 5-year institution? Why can't we send you to HCC and do the real estate program for 18 months so you can manage your daddy's properties or something like that? So how important is it that we kind of slack off of this whole everybody can go to college thing?
Extremely important.
Yeah.
I preach that kind of to
Yeah.
middle school kids, like everybody's not going to college. It's just not happening, and that's okay. What you do need to do is get that high school diploma, 1. And 2, as many little pieces of paper as you can get that say this certifies that Johnny Blaze can do whatever that he or she can do, the more opportunities you're going to have. And that does not mean it has to be a 2-year degree or 4-year degree. You don't have to have that to be successful. The one thing you do need is a high school diploma. My personal opinion. This is what I preach. So I am, embarking my opinion on the kids. But you need your high school diploma.
These kids.
Yeah, you need your high school diploma. And then after that, get what you can to go where you're trying to go.
Right.
Like in the neighborhood I work in, these kids are working in middle school. Like I've had kids come like, Miss, do you think I can miss Thursday and Friday? Why? I need to go to work. With who?
With who?
We minded my dad building his house. Oh, don't talk to me about that.
Yeah,
When they ask, I'm like, he was at work. But these kids are going to work already because their families already have businesses. They picked up trades already.
And they're getting cash. They're getting paid cash.
Right now.
Yeah.
Right
These
now.
kids are 14 years old.
Instant gratification.
Yeah.
Getting
right
paid.
now.
And so
It's the
going
world
to
we live in.
college and continuing something you already really don't like that much
Yeah.
anyway. You're doing it because you have to.
Right.
It's not.
And it's costing you.
It's not intriguing to you. 1, because you don't want to do it, and 2, because nobody around you is doing that either, and they making money, which is
Correct.
really the goal. When people tell you go to school so you can get education, you can make more money. They already making money, so what are they going to get this extended
Making more money than
education
you.
for? Correct.
It's crazy. It's almost
So-
like we need to go back to what we probably are used to when we were in school. Like every school had these programs.
Yeah.
You know, I was walking
Yeah.
around I can go to the barbershop in the school.
In the school.
Beauty
Yeah.
shop in the school.
Mm-hmm.
I can bring my clothes to the cleaners in the school.
Right.
Auto mechanics, wood shop. These things were in the school.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's
That's what
almost
it
like
boils
we,
down to is
Right.
just getting the programs back
Yeah.
in the schools.
And I
Give
hate
them
that.
the opportunity.
right.
Yeah, and I hate that now where we are, there are certain districts that offer everything under the sun for the kids, and there's certain districts who could be right across the train tracks and they have literally nothing. Like where I live, and pay taxes, I keep saying that, where I live and pay taxes, I can drop my car off for an oil change in the same building where I can get my dog groomed, in the same building where I can get my nails and my pedicure done, in the same building where I can get my braids tightened up and for my knotless. These are all programs that are offered. Now, granted, they're going to tax my ass up out that neighborhood, but these are all programs that are available at this school, at this building for these kids. So every kid in that's zoned in this area has an opportunity to do this. Oh, I'm sorry. And while I go down to the cafe and get me a macchiato because the culinary school down there cooking up some shit.
Sometimes it's not even in the different school districts. It's from school to school,
School to
in
school.
the same
In the-
school
yeah.
district.
Yeah.
So some schools will have 5 or 10 programs, and some
Well,
schools
none,
have
not any.
none,
Yeah.
2 maybe, if
Yeah.
that, you know.
'Cause, I mean, that's-
and then
that's-
the ones they have, the kids not even interested,
They're not
in
interested.
it. So
Correct. Yeah.
And I think it should go back to the school because even
Right.
though where we pay our taxpayers dollars, you have this great building where you could go to the dog room and you could go get your car. They only accept so many kids.
Yeah.
That part.
So now you have
Take it back to the school,
put
to
it
the
back to
zone
the
school.
school.
Mhm.
So
Give it
Put
to the
those
school.
things back in
right.
the
So
building.
everybody has the opportunity to do cosmetology. You know, everybody has the opportunity to do barbering or do something that they're interested in. When you tell me where I pay my taxpayer dollars, only 12 kids can enter this program, and why am I telling my kids
That the program is available, right?
Or
I'm
you
not
gotta
gonna
wait
do that.
till
Yeah.
you're in a certain grade level to be bussed off to this.
Right,
Right.
Like,
right,
why am I
right.
busing you to another school when this is what you really want to do, and this
You
is
can
why you
bring
come
it
to
in.
school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're an amazing barber already. You just really need the
So
paperwork to
instead of
say,
you cutting hair in the bathroom,
yes,
missing
baby,
the
that's what they
class.
doing.
Yeah.
That's what they doing.
Again,
Or you sitting
This
in your counselor's
certifies
office giving them a,
you
talking
cut
to
hair.
them.
Bathroom.
Yeah.
cut hair in a wheelchair.
In a real chair.
Can you
Not
give me
on top
a
of the
permit to go back to
toilet.
class?
Yeah, because you done
Tighten
lined me up.
Yeah, you
And-
line me up. Now I got to see you.
But that's
back
what
in
we do.
class.
And I made a video a while back because I get my lashes done, and my lash lady went out on maternity leave, and I was bald head. I was bald head asshole behind the eyes because I had like one lash hanging on, right?
Yeah.
But I got this little girl. She's so freaking brilliant, bad as hell. She bad. I love the little girl there. She bad as hell.
Come on here, baby.
Brilliant. And she called me out. She said, "Oh,
Let me fix
you
that.
need a feel." And I was like, damn. And she went right to her backpack. She said, I'm gonna do this. She had some strips. She had everything she needed. Hey, put them things on like that.
Now, how many classes she missed that day?
She
in the
missed
bathroom making
none
money?
because guess what? She that quick.
Yeah,
she
that's
that
what I'm
quick.
saying. And efficient.
And very efficient. And so
Yeah.
it got to the point where everybody was getting that done. And so she's like, okay, I done hustled up, $5 here and there. Now I got enough money to order me an individual lash kit on
Hello.
Amazon.
Hello.
And I watched YouTube. Because the little girl told me she taught herself during COVID. She had nothing else to do. She was on YouTube
It's
watching.
one thing COVID did for our
Come on
kids.
now.
For the kids that make
Come
sense.
on now.
I mean, we got these all over the place.
Mhm.
Right?
The little
They
break-
found something to do.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know,
And that's what she did. She learned how to do makeup and she learned how to do lashes
somebody learned how to braid
during
hair.
COVID. Yeah.
You go
Yeah.
in the bathroom and see a whole bunch of entrepreneurs. They're
Oh,
selling
yeah.
honey buns,
Yeah.
hot fries.
Look, my kid done got busted at school.
I'm going to get some cake pops. I'm like,
Yeah.
baby, my baby
Yeah.
birthday coming up. Can I get a
Yeah,
dozen
just
of
bring
them
it back.
cake
Bring those
pops?
programs back
Back
to
to the
school,
school.
and that will solve some of your issues.
Mhm.
Right? Just bring some of those programs back. What the kids love to do.
Yeah, something
That'll
that
get
they're
them-
interested in. I think it'll
Yeah.
That'll get them.
encourage
That'll
to
get them in the
come.
building.
Mhm.
You know, you won't have attendance issues because they come to school.
Exactly. And then I think that also that push for STAAR, it's like those kids are so, we've been testing these kids since they got into
What,
public
since third grade?
education.
Since third.
Hell, really kinder when you start talking about all the other, like the
Oh, yeah,
math.
the-
What is all the
yeah,
other little, I don't know what
yeah.
elementary people be doing.
Yeah.
They do all these things and we've been testing
They
these
spend
kids
more
so
time
much.
testing than learning.
Then learning, they do. And then we put so much pressure on them to like, hey, this is what you have to do. I know my kid has bad testing anxiety. So when you
little
say, test, he's like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
Yeah.
What if I don't? Like, so you're so in your head
Yeah.
for testing day that you don't do well, or you miss it by a question or something simple. And then he's like, man, I know these answers. I'm like, I know you do, but you're so
Just
it's
fall
so
apart on
precious,
test day.
so
Or
much.
you
And
taking so many tests that by the time it comes to the one that really counts,
Test
you
Tired.
exhausted.
Burnt
like
out.
you
You
just like
burnt out.
Yeah,
I don't
you
feel
just like,
like it
whatever.
no more
Yeah.
because I'm tired. I've
Yeah.
taken
Or
too
you
many.
test well and you don't do well in the class.
and don't
Yeah.
So it's like it's either or.
Yeah, it's something.
It's
It's always
either
something.
or.
'Cause I got one that does very well with tests, but he's so lazy he don't do nothing in the classroom. Got the other one that has test anxiety, but she's a survivor, so she's gonna pull through in the classroom. It's just so weird.
That's how that's
So
weird.
weird.
So let's talk about. I got two parts. So I want to talk about. We'll get into this one next, but the role, how the role of a counselor has evolved over time. But before we get to that, I want to talk about the importance of mental health and the kids that y'all deal with as counselors. So I have to first say, no shade, ladies, no shade. But I love Black male administrators and Black male counselors because I feel like they are so important on campuses, okay? I wish we could have one on all levels, elementary, middle, and high school. But I feel like, especially when we get to high school, our boys, Black and brown, need to see a man and a man of color in a position of leadership, in a position that's guiding them, and then people that are absolutely relatable. We talked about relatability earlier when you came in, AP, but how important that is to the kids' success. And how important it is to be able to go in Mr. Sean's office and just talk about the shit that's going on in my life. And for Mr. Sean to say, hey, you got this because I went through the same thing. And let me tell you the steps that you need to take to get through it. So I want to talk about just the importance of the role as Black male administrators on campuses and how we can detach or get away from that stigma of those boys coming to y'all and feeling like talking and letting y'all know they got some shit going on and they want to talk about it.
It's tough because, women dominate education.
Yeah.
Period. And especially in the positions that we find ourselves in, right? And so it's a thin line for male counselors. It's a thin line for Black male counselors for sure. Because our Black males need to see someone that looks like them that's not an authoritative figure, right? I'm not coming to discipline you. I'm coming to listen to you. And so we can talk about, what you need to be successful. We can just talk about life in general. And we can, I can tell you, yeah, hey man, I was there. I did that. I went to this school, so I understand what you're going through. I live in this neighborhood. I get it. You can look like you can do what I do. You know what I mean? So it's very important that they get to walk through the doors and see that. I mean, they love their mamas.
Yeah.
Mama's there at draft night. Mama's there at church. Mama is everywhere.
Yeah.
Big ups to mom because mom's going to be there. So it's very rare that dad is going to be there at these moments, in these places, right? So when they see me, they some of them, they gravitate because they want to be able to talk. It's about building that relationship, allowing them to mess up, seeing them the next morning. What do we do? How do we do it? What do we do different? Right. So it's rare that they see people that are them that allow them to do that. And then let's talk about what we need to do to be successful moving forward. So, that's my thing. That's why I do it, every day. Somebody said, well, hey, man, you should be a principal. They have enough of those.
Right.
I'm going to be the best counselor I can be.
This is my role. This is my
I
lane.
probably just told everybody in the city who's listening who I am, but that's my motto. I'm going to be the best counselor I can be because you need me to be that, right, in order for you to be successful. So,
Right.
yeah.
So now here we are with you, and you are seen as the disciplinarian in some instances. So how do you draw that line? Like, yes, I'm the disciplinarian on paper, but I'm really not here to do that. I'm really here to help you be as successful as you possibly can be. But don't be out here tripping and acting a fool because then I'm going to have to step into this role where I have to be the disciplinarian.
Yeah, it's super tough. One, I never stop applauding counselors for all the work that y'all do because there's a wall that's up with every kid. Like, and I think it's natural. You ask somebody, hey, how you doing? I'm good. Naturally, I'm good, right? So to try to break down that wall and get a kid to actually open up is tough. It's even tougher when you're, a counselor. It's even tougher when you are an administrator, whatever. And so, in my role, it's unique because education, they're always talking about build relationships with the kids. But when you see me as the enemy or you see me as the person that is going to get you in trouble, despite what you were selling in the bathroom, right? Like, it's tough. And so, I try to do everything I possibly can, whether it's, showing up to games, saying what's up, saying good morning, a billion times until you feel like saying it back. Buying the latest Jordans or whatever thing I can do.
We do.
Oh,
To
my
try to
God.
like spark
I need a
that.
stipend.
interest.
I need some kind of supplemental pay for
Whatever I can do to spark that interest in, like, oh, he may be cool. So then we can talk about, your future later. But it takes a long time to get that spark.
Hold on, before we proceed, I gotta give another shout out to our sponsor today, the Right Experience Mobile Bartending, bringing the full bar experience to you. Like we on one. I love this. This is fruity. I'm scared. I want to try y'all's drink, but I don't think I need to mix the brown. I don't think I'm educate to elevate, and then I got my signature. And I got my signature Ridgemont Forest Finest. This one is good. Y'all know I'm a brown drink. I'm so hood. This is my shit right here.
It's too hot outside for that brown.
That brown. Oh, y'all like see? I'm true to this. Y'all drink that little cutesy clear shit.
Once that temperature drop a little bit,
But I want to go back to what you said is when you said something about buying the shoes, and I promise I can give PDs on. I hate the word. I know we hate the phrase building relationships in education, right? Because we hear it so much, and it's kind of like those of us that do what we do. It's nothing. You don't need to tell me to build a relationship with the kid, right? But I know those are simple things that we do every day, and even if something I know. Here you go. I'm about to lose my job when I say this. It's 9:00. It's a sneakers. It's a raffle. It's a draw, right? My first period, I already know. Hey, phone's out, guys. Somebody gonna win me these ducks. So pause the lesson.
Just this week, somebody was like, "Hey, it's 9:00. Baby girl need those dunks."
My kids, my students in my first period, I already know because we trying to win the same shoe.
I could be in a session. I'm like, just a second.
Pause real quick.
Mister.
But I think something that simple, and I feel we talked about.
You gotta be related.
We talked about last episode and a couple of episodes back, like the difference when we have the friction between Black and brown students and white teachers, and just the certain things about us that we have, and it's natural. Like we can't teach it. It's just in us. So there's nothing in me that's gonna be able to tell you, hey, you have to stop your class at 9. Because the Nike sneakers is doing a raffle on the app, and you have to let all the kids get their phones out. It's okay to break the rule for a minute, but the kids know. So it's like I can't teach you that. But when it comes to something that small, it's big to them. But to us, that's nothing. It's 5 minutes. We on there. I won, miss. And so some of my kids, Lord, I shouldn't say this, but some of my kids, they got my size plugged in. They gonna win it for me, and I'm finna cash up your mama because your card, you hit more than I hit on the raffle. And I need these dunks. But that's how engaged the parents are with you. Like I know where I am, depending on the relationship that you build with your students and your parents. They already know what time it is. But they also know, like, I'm not a stickler for the small things either. I'm not that person. I'm just very open-minded and understanding. But it takes stuff just like that. So, you could be in a suit and tie, but you walked in with these new ones on, and the kids are gonna be like, okay, I see you. I see you.
Every day I think I got another color that go with the shirt that I'm wearing. The kids like,
but you gotta be human.
Mister, why are you always wearing long sleeves? Well,
I'm tatted up.
There's a place in the time for everything, young man.
Yeah.
When they see me with a polo, I was well, wait a minute. Okay, now you come in. Okay, well, hold on. Well, maybe I can talk to him.
Because you remind me of my uncle, or you remind me of my dad, or something.
But what's crazy is those little bitty things can make big relationships. It goes a long way, because you're dealing with kids from everywhere with everything, So those kids,
conversation starters,
exactly.
Lashes, nails, your braids, everything.
Correct. Be like, girl, my wig crooked.
Yeah, they gonna get you together.
Let me for you, miss.
Let me get some of that lace front right now.
They gonna get you together.
Relationships matter. I mean, SEL is a big thing, and it matters.
Yes, SEL. Oh man, that's another big push. I have a a lady that's gonna come in and we're gonna have a SEL like the urban SEL, not this capturing kids' heart, not that bullshit that we really want to talk about what it means for SEL for Black and brown kids and how important it is. And it goes beyond the damn scripted stuff that y'all got us looking at on these PowerPoint or these Google slides. And so how effective SEL could really be if we were implementing it in a way that was culturally relevant to all of our students.
And not just another thing.
Another checkbox.
Yeah, because teachers don't like just another thing.
Oh, we hate it. And it's not, especially when we know it's another thing that the district has paid thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to their homeboys to do.
Gave me a couple of extra dollars on my salary, but you wouldn't pay for this program, and now I got to do it.
Or had you given me a great enough stipend, I could have built you a program, but you don't value me and what I bring to the table. You rather go pay a subsidiary of Pearson, because I think they all related, to give you what you need to get. And so, but that's a whole nother episode.
You still don't know your own community.
You don't.
That's why you went out and bought that program.
Yeah.
Because you don't understand what you have on your campus. You get a couple of us and we could go talk to them and say, boy, look, if you want to sit down somewhere, I'm gonna snatch all the hell up. Go do that lady work. Sit down. Shut the hell up.
Yeah.
And come on and go your ass home at 3:30.
That's that dog liquor. That dog liquor.
See, just earlier, I'm gonna keep that to myself.
Yeah.
Now she getting comfortable now.
Yeah, you have to have that understanding.
But that's what it's about, and especially with our kids. And I don't care if you at Katy, if you at Pearland, if you at Sci-Fair, Kingwood, Woodlands. When it's us, like, I can talk to you and you're gonna relate and you're gonna respond to me saying, sit your ass down and be quiet in that lady class. But nobody else can do that.
Can't do it.
I've
Somebody's mama gonna get called.
evaluation before my appraiser told me, it made me nervous, but she said, you say some of the strangest things to these kids and they respond to you. You can get them to do stuff. Some people can never say some of the stuff you say to these kids and they not report them. And she was like, that's your gift. Like, that's your talent. Like, you can get kids to respond to you and you say, she was like, you say some stuff.
Yeah.
Look, kids know. Kids know that you love them.
They know.
If you love them,
right,
you can do whatever you need. They're your kids.
Yeah,
They your.
Can
I tell a story? Look, she looking like old shit. So I'm gonna tell a quick story. So when Pimp C and I first started teaching, I think she started a year before me, maybe, at the school that we were at in South Park under Mr. Bill Sorrells. I done had about 3 or 4 people from Albert Thomas under the great late great Mr. Bill Sorrells Jr. Pimp C was the behavior teacher.
Oh, man.
Pimp C was the behavior teacher. And in Pimp C's class, I was right next door to Pimp C's class, or a couple of doors down. I had resource and some other shit. They just been they threw me everything. Just here. And you had the behavior, but she had, when I say behavior, she had like behavior. And it was a classroom full of boys.
Big ones.
Big boys. And this is, again, we go back to earlier when it wasn't you didn't pass, go on. No, baby. They was 15, 16 in the 8th grade, big boys in her class. And they would be on 10 and the same monotone voice that she got. Y'all done? Y'all done showing out? Like, she never, but when I say if one of them got out of line with her, the other ones would come. They were like little lions. Like, she would say the craziest things and I'll be like, oh shit, she been lose her job. She been lose her job. And them kids would be like, all right, miss. And I'd be like, oh. It was that simple. So even when I left the school that we were at, and then I went to Jones to be one of the behavior teachers over there, I had to implement some of her things. And I found, I don't know if you remember, this is the thing that Mrs. Sorrell used to teach us, hot head, cool head, or cool head, whatever. Cool head, so yeah, when they up, you down. If they down, then you can go up a little bit. And so when I had these high school behavior kids with ankle monitors and shit on, I would have to remember, okay, cool head. They chilling. They chilling. So you may be able to put a little bass in your voice right now if they get out of pocket. But if they up, you got to be like, you done yet? Yeah. But I just knew, like, those kids would do anything in the world for you. They wasn't finna let nobody come at you. Nope. It could be an administrator coming there trying to evaluate you. They finna talk all day. What you in here for? We teaching. My teacher working. Like, they gonna scare them off. It's a constant thing of having your back. So I think when it even comes to the most hardcore of kids that we teach. To us, it's nothing. So I know where we are right now. It's like, girl, that's a behavior problem to you?
Correct.
Baby, that ain't nothing. That's what you in here stripping about?
Be like, hold on 5 minutes. Sit your ass down.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Got you.
bring your ass in.
That's what counselors do. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a great thing about y'all. So last, before we get up out of here, I want to talk about the evolving role of a school counselor. Y'all went from counselors to master schedulers to guidance counselors to career counselors, coaches, or whatever they call y'all, to testing coordinators, to 504 coordinators. Now it's back SEL. Like, how do y'all manage the millions of hats they have you guys wearing as school counselors? And what the hell is your job? And what would you prefer your job to just be?
Well, thankfully, they've taken some stuff away with the 80-20.
What is the 80-20? What is
Well,
that? Uh-oh.
There's a new.
Supposed to.
Yeah.
What is that?
Taking some things away where 80% of your day is supposed to be strictly geared towards counseling duties and not the other duties as a 504 and all of those things. That's what's not supposed to be happening. I can't say that that's
that memo.
No comment.
Yeah, that
Okay,
memo
no comment.
didn't
But-
reach to the high school level.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I think we still doing it. You still doing it all just because we have to. Like, I mean, I think our jobs are important. I think we serve a role on campus that's unique because
Absolutely.
there isn't. I know for me, I don't have anybody else on my campus that does my job. And so I'm pretty much by myself. I have an amazing principal who's super supportive. And so it works out for me. But imagine the people who are by themselves doing this job and they don't have the support or they don't have a principal who is understanding or understands the role,
Right.
you know, of a school counseling. So then they giving them all these extra duties because they feel like you're not doing enough. But if they come in your office and sit for one day, they will see your day can go from 0 to 100. I'm talking about real quick.
Before you even put your purse down.
Before you even lock the door on your car, somebody is,
First thing in the morning.
Oh, it was a kid yesterday, and I should have.
Somebody got shot.
You know,
Yep.
or something
Somebody
has
shot
happened
somebody.
overnight.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I just think that I think people see it as something easy to do. I think a lot of people want to get into the work like, oh, I could talk to kids all day, but that's not. No, you can't. When you're hearing some of the stories that these kids are telling you, or some of the things that they're going through. Sometimes you got to take a minute after, and you have to go get yourself
Counselor
together.
needs
Or the
counseling.
counselor needs counseling. You need somebody to come talk to you, come check on you, because all day, not only are you counseling kids. What about y'all?
We coming in there.
Counseling adults.
Yeah, I come in. I go in the
I feel
counselor's
like
office.
there should be a couch in every counselor's office.
I do
I have
that.
a little space in my
Yeah.
office where it's like a little compound
I do
room.
that.
I created a nice
Yes.
little space. Sometimes I send the teachers in there when they come in there too. I'm like, go in there. Just take
Go take a
10
nap.
minutes.
Yeah.
Relax yourself. If you still need to come out and talk, I'm here for you. But maybe if you go in here, it'll calm you down. But I think we are there for everybody on campus. You know,
You gotta be flexible.
You spread thin. Yeah.
And word flexible.
I'm real nervous as a male in this industry to say what I won't do
Okay.
or what I shouldn't be doing. I feel like whatever I can do, I need to do
Okay.
to make sure I stay relevant and to make sure that you don't say, well, why do we have this person? And then all campuses aren't equal,
Facts.
Correct.
so the resources aren't available. Depending on what campus you may be you wear many hats. So you got to do what you got to do. It's unfortunate, because we just got some we were just sharing some communication about some things that particular districts say you can't do.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, you gonna go to your principal's office and say, hey, I can't do that?
Yeah.
Not me.
I'm not.
You gotta get it
Yeah,
done.
right. So
figure it out.
Yeah, we gotta get it done.
that principal
Yeah.
will go, hey, I need you. So how do you tell somebody that says I need you that I can't,
I can't.
or I won't?
Ooh.
And that's just not in my vocabulary. I just hadn't built up enough.
You a rebel anyway. You gonna do you
With
anyway.
that part, I'm gonna always
You gonna
do me.
always do
But
that.
whatever I do is gonna be in the best interest of the kids
I
on the
might talk
campus.
noise
Yeah.
the whole way.
But I ain't.
Yeah, I'm
good
gonna
with it.
talk crazy,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, I'm gonna get it done.
Yeah.
But I think that's what makes the role of a counselor so hard, because we gonna get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
matter what.
Yeah,
You're
I
not
can't tell
gonna
you
say
no.
no.
Yeah, what I look like saying no, I can't do that.
Right.
Now I may say it as I'm doing it,
But you doing it.
But I'm gonna do
Yeah,
it.
but-
It sucks sometimes because I'm thinking like, shouldn't somebody else be doing this?
Correct.
Do I get paid enough to do this?
Ain't you getting a stipend for that?
Yeah, we love to say
And
that.
I'm looking in the manuals in the compensation
Define
manual
that.
says I should get and the principal looking at me like, okay.
What about that? No.
But so yeah, it's very. I mean, it was hard to get this gig as a male. You know, no
black
disrespect
man.
to my ladies. You know,
But it shouldn't have been.
It
No.
shouldn't have been, but you know,
People don't understand
especially
how
because you know they told me by going to PV that PV produced productive.
And we do.
We do.
Right, so like I should have been able to walk out of
watch your
PV
mouth.
and bang. And it happened. It kind of happened like that, you know. But yeah, it took a while. It took a
Hold
while.
on, let's pause.
No digs at at that place up 290, but it took a while.
Go Cougs. Anyways, I just said go Cougs.
Panthers.
Yeah, no, but it's tough, you know, because it's ever changing and it's crazy because this past year, you know, after COVID, you know, social emotional was a thing. You know, they came up with this thing called purple. And, you know, and so you have to put what you do so they can check what you do. So
What is
they can
purple?
say what you do. It's a system.
You know, we in different parts of the country, so I need to understand
It's a system that we use to manage what we do.
Okay.
Right? They want to be able to say, this is what this person is doing.
Oh, or like
It's not
these are the
micromanaging.
kids that you've talked to. Are you talking about like the kids that you've
lot.
actually counseled, or like
Yeah.
the jobs that what you've done as
Every
far as your
time-
work day?
Every time that part too.
Okay.
Because they want to be able to say to the people that matter, this is what our counselors are doing. So, you know, a kid walks in the door before I say something to a
our
kid.
relevance.
Yeah.
Yeah. This
Which
is why we need
unfortunate
them.
that you got to do all of that.
Exactly.
prove your
This is
relevance
why
to
we
the
need
family.
counselors on every campus.
On every campus.
Right. This is what they do all day, right? So before a kid even sees me, hey kid, log in and click this QR code.
Oh, that's why we have the QR codes in the classroom.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
that makes
You know,
sense.
kid may be sitting in your class, you see him having a moment, hey, click that QR code, tell him what's going on. It comes to me. I come reach out to the kid.
Okay.
You know, for whatever it may be, I need a toothbrush. I'm having a bad day. I have a death in the family. You know, I need
Another
academic
box
help.
to check. I was thinking it was like,
Bingo.
oh, my counselors are just being cute and
No.
oh, that's because somebody holding y'all accountable.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah,
wow.
It's accountability all over. The
All
place.
over a box
You know,
to check.
'cause in some districts, they got new folk coming in saying, well, hey, we don't need this. What you doing over here?
So you mentioned something earlier, and I'm thinking about the counselors on my campus and previous campuses I worked on. How much this takes out of y'all. I know I talked about this before. I'm gonna say it again. The relationships that these kids are in, their little relationships, their girlfriend boyfriend experiences, they are so in. We need another drink. Can we have one more round, please?
Bring
One
the
more
bottle.
round. Again, shout out to the Right Experience Mobile Bartending Service. We bring the full bar experience to you. But
Definitely elevate.
the relationships that these kids are in are so intense. And even I'm on the middle school campus and I see how crazy they can get. And we have like a certain group of girls who go through these their issues with their boyfriends. And I think they're in the most toxic situations ever. And they're so draining to me when they come talk to me. And I'm like, first of all, I always tell kids, I love y'all, but I'm a mandated reporter. Okay. So that's first of all. So when y'all come and telling me this and I be like, ooh, pause. Let me send you downstairs to the people that get the stipend. I'm gonna joke and say the stipend. Let me send you downstairs to them because number one, I ain't all there. My barber's a rap. You don't know what kind of night I had with my man the night before. Like,
Right.
I don't want to hear your shit. I love you, but I can't take that on. So let me send you downstairs. But I know we have a particular group of girls, and when I say I feel so sorry for our counselor because she is drained. Like when these girls have these meltdowns and these breakdowns behind these little raggedy boys, it literally is like a 3-4 hour process to get them to calm down. They're in their office, they're on the floor, they're screaming, they're crying, I want to cut myself, I want to do all these things, and you like, girl, that boy ain't passed the class all 9 weeks. That boy, hell, your homegirl was in my office crying over him earlier today. I can't take this. How do y'all deal with when you got your own shit? Because we have to acknowledge that, like you said earlier, counselors need counseling. Like, I got my own shit going on. You may have had a fight with your husband. Your daughter may, did crazy at school today. You got your own shit. And now I got this little 13, 14-year-old girl in my office crying on the floor in the fetal position because her boyfriend hugged another girl in the hallway during the passing period.
First of all, get up off that floor.
Get
Right.
up.
You're not just roll on my floor.
So that's
in
what
that
you're going to do first.
serenity
You better get up off the floor right now
Correct.
because they didn't mop it last night. Now, what I sincerely try to do is remember
Thank you for my drink.
They're hurting.
boyfriends, friendships, in my grade, especially for middle school, boyfriends and friendships, that's what's important to them right now. So where we know, like, girl, go, I mean,
Right.
whatever, they don't know that, because what's important to them at this age is their social life. And so I kind of have to take myself out of it and remember, like, this is what's important to them right now. And even though it means nothing to me, and I want you to get up off this floor because it's dirty, and I also want you to get up out of here because I got something else to do, and I also want you to know that you're going to have 5 more boyfriends between now and the time you graduate from high school. I want you to know all of that, but I take myself out of that, and I remember that this is what's important to them right now. This is what's detrimental to their livelihood right now. Having friends, having a boyfriend, this is what's important to them. And so I have to make sure that I am accommodating them for what's important to them, even though it means nothing to me, because I got to do purple. But in all honesty, I think you really have to just remember that they kids. And at one point, your friends and your relationships with your little boyfriend and whatever, that was what was most important to you too. So you kind of have to like step outside yourself and remember, like the late great Bill Sorrells used to tell us, adults, we just kids who grew up, right? And so what's important to us now, the kids not gonna understand that. And then for most adults, they act like they forgot that they was probably rolling around somewhere too.
Ooh, child.
You know, at some point, and they just act like they want kids to skip that part of
Over
life.
somebody piece to tell son.
Yeah,
Ooh,
but they want you
Lord.
kids to skip that part of life, but that's a part of the, you know, the
It's
process.
the tough part
You
about
have
being
to-
a teacher, though, right? They got so much pressure.
Yeah.
But that's why I tell my teachers all the time. That's why you have me. Use me,
Send 'em
because
over
that's
here.
why I'm here, right? Don't worry about that part, because you got so much going on as an educator. You don't have time to deal with that,
Yeah.
right? So let me do that for you.
That's so accommodating of
yeah.
you.
I mean, that's
But
what I
then
do.
there are some teachers who
Think that they
they
are.
think they are the counselor and they want to
Well,
take
that's
it off.
true.
Well,
See,
it's
that's
not-
me.
That's true.
But it's
Well, it's
I
different,
think it's
though.
different
That's
for you
different.
because
Yeah.
you're just different.
Yeah, that's just,
You
yeah,
know,
that's
build
different.
relationships and kids do want to come.
Yeah.
But there are some teachers, the kids, they don't care that much for you. But
Yeah.
you're trying to be in a business because you want to know everything, so then you can come tell whoever else
Right.
everything you know.
It's
so
not
then
genuine.
It seems like you just so interested in your kids, and you're really not. You really just being nosy. Now, I can tell the ones who care because they like you. Wait a minute, that's too much.
Let me send you downstairs.
Hey, can I? They call. Can
Yeah, I
I
do.
send
I
them?
call.
Can
Hey,
can
she
you
didn't
please
see
come
you.
get them right now?
Yeah.
Or I can send them out right now and write them a pass. Then I know like they talk too much and
Yeah.
you know
Yeah, they said
they
too
not
much,
trying
yeah.
to go
So I
beyond.
tell them all the time,
Yeah.
be careful what you listen to. Now.
Yeah,
Because I done had to sit in a deposition and I don't like that.
Yeah.
Careful
So
what you listen to.
and I always
Be
tell them
careful.
too, even when we write, and I done because
Careful
of
what you read.
experience, I done stopped assigning long writing assignments too. I just be real short. I can exit ticket type shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, man,
Yeah.
I need you to,
Yeah.
I need you to
call them
record
3-letter
this.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, call them people. I
call
always
them
say
people.
that. So I be like,
I'm not
hey,
doing
and they want to. You gonna call them?
Nuh-uh.
they reported to you.
Yeah, they talk to you
They
first.
do
you
so-
first. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me do my job. You do your job. I'm gonna support you in what you do.
Ooh, I hate it. I be telling the
I'll
kids,
I'll
I
put the
love
website
y'all.
in for you, but I'm not pulling it out.
I love y'all, but ooh, be careful what you tell me. Like, I love you. I don't want to
Yeah.
hear. I can't take it on. And I joke about it, but I be for real because I need you to go downstairs to them people,
Yeah.
the purple people. I'm gonna start calling them. The people got to be accountable for what they do. So let me make sure they keep their job and send them down there to y'all. All right. So lastly, before we wrap it up, I want y'all to think about your most controversial opinion about education or about your job as counselors, and give it to me. I'm gonna throw you in the mix too, AP.
I'm gonna start first.
All right, let's go. Let's go, Sam.
Dual credit.
Oh my God! Whoa! Now I feel like we got to go an extra 10 minutes because I didn't even hit dual credit. I didn't even hit dual credit. How important that is? AP dual credit, the battle. Can we just extend? I know, producer man. I know I'll be telling the people 40, 50 minutes out of here, out of class, but I forgot to hit that. That's a very important topic. So now let's go, Sam.
I want people to stop lying to these kids about the importance of taking dual credit and you gonna graduate early but you're not. You gonna sit right there because when you go to these colleges, they're gonna make you retake every last one of them dual credit courses on over again. And they say they're gonna accept my credit, baby. They're gonna accept all of them, but they ain't gonna accept the one for one What that means is they're going to take all your dual credit courses and they're going to give you elective credit for that. And you're going to retake all them courses over again in college, and you started right back from where everybody else started.
What?
What they also don't tell you is that starts your financial aid clock.
Oh.
So the moment you take your first dual enrollment class, you are eating into your financial aid. You have 150 hours of financial aid.
Wait a minute.
She's on it.
So
What?
once you eat into that, start eating that financial aid up,
Yeah.
you're going to have kids running into, I took all these dual credit classes, I got an associate's degree, you're going to go to UT, A&M, wherever, and they're going to
It's
tell
like
you,
private school.
yeah, you're going to have to pay for your senior year.
UT and A&M have a whole different.
Whole different ball game.
Their Texas core, the Texas Common Core ain't the Texas Common Core, UT and A&M.
So
It is, but it ain't.
It is. So for me, I have a hard time trying to sell dual credit to kids because I know what we're setting these kids up for.
Damn.
And people like, oh, why are you doing all of this? Why are you not telling the truth? Sir, why aren't you telling them the truth? Because I got 5 chances to getting into heaven. I blew 4 of them.
In college.
I'm on my last leg. I'm not fixing to lie to these kids. Stop telling these kids that AP is setting them apart. It's not.
Ooh.
AP is like
That's
Jolly
just like
Ranchers.
that South Early situation, right? That's a little different than what she's talking about.
No, I don't think I know about that.
So, like, you know, HISD has South Early.
Oh, no, I know South Early.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
take all
so
those
but
classes,
they take it
South
with
Early.
ACC
Yeah.
versus ACC. But I think you're speaking on like AP courses
So
versus.
yeah, I mean, but the whole thing is just let the kids know up front what they getting ready to put
Everything.
themselves
Yeah,
into.
everything. Yeah.
Don't have that lie where, oh my God, you're gonna graduate years and years early, and we looking at Pookie and he's still sitting there with Tyrell, and neither one of them graduating on time.
Right.
And so I think that that's my biggest controversy with everything because we're not being honest with these kids.
Yeah.
We're not being honest with their parents, and we continue to sell it. We continue to sell it. We continue to sell it. They don't tell you where those funds are coming from. Those funds are coming
out your financial.
Out your financial.
Damn.
That clock has
That
tick,
clock
tick,
has
tick.
started ticking.
As a parent, my 21-year-old now, and I'm gonna talk about him, who came out of a certain high school, and I think he ended up. We started the dual credit program late, but he ended up, I think, maybe graduating with like 9 or 12 hours, whatever, and then going to the EMT. But then COVID hit, so all of that ended up being shut down with him being able to do his internship hours at the hospitals and all of that stuff. But now, who has said as of last semester before last, Mom, I'm gonna chill from school for this year because he went immediately into HCC because U of H wanted to charge $2,000 for one class that I was gonna pay HCC 12 hours for. And so after he was like, man, I think I'm good. But now who works a job at 21 years old who makes more than his mama that's been teaching for 20 plus years?
I don't need college.
Goes back to what you were saying.
Now
about
it's like,
it ain't for everybody. These kids are going right into the workforce.
I'm good. I got vacation. I got a 401k. I got all of this stuff. Mama, hell, I could help you if I wanted to. And so I'm good. And so I kind of have to. I'm one that fell for that dual credit trap, and I didn't need to.
Yeah, my kid knocked me. My kid was like, "Say, man, take me out of this. I'm not."
It wasn't for him.
It's not. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
He's a good kid, great kid, right? But he likes what he likes. That wasn't it. He's like, yeah, I did it, but I don't want to do it no more. You don't have to push me that
Try
fast.
to force it on him.
You know, it's crazy because I never really pushed him in much until he shows me, or until any kid shows me that they're interested. Because I had a lot of kids this year at my job where I work that were behind, and we had this on-time grad program.
Yeah.
You got to show me that I need to sing.
Right.
If I'm a senior, you got to produce.
You got to produce, yeah.
Right. So, like, you show me what you want to do, I'm going to back you 110%. But if you don't show me, hey, look, I'm moving on to the next kid.
Because it is somebody else who deserve that spot.
Yeah. That was a tough question, though. Like, I can't
you,
think of nothing.
You first of all, you're so controversial anyway. Period.
Why you say that?
None of that. None of this
I'm a
stuff
real
is
laid-back
controversial
guy, right?
to you.
Yeah, I know. I just ebb and flow. Like, I'm gonna go with the flow. I'm not really sure. Like, what's
your
it's a
most
tough question.
controversial education? Okay, well, let me throw one at you. What's your spill on this whole HISD TEA takeover?
No comment.
Okay, all right. We'll take
Good answer. Good answer.
Now you know what? No, I actually I'm gonna be honest with you because this is where we at. This is what we do, right?
All right, this is what we do.
Finest, right?
Yes.
I'll say this. So, like, from what I have been watching and what I do know, I do agree with some of the things that he would like to put in place, right? Like,
Okay.
I agree. Like, if you're gonna have an intervention at a high school, right? How do you not have that same intervention flow down?
Right.
Because okay, yeah, we're dealing with the high school issues. They're gone. Then we're going to have to do this all over again.
Because these are the kids that feeding
Right,
into. This is
right.
the mindset. This is
Right.
the culture.
So I agree with getting highly qualified folk that love what they do, from the elementary, from the pre-K all the way up to the high school, right? To make sure that we're all on the same program. And you know, it's funny. It kind of reminds me of the Katy. I call it the Katy football, right?
Okay.
Katy football. They win championships. Why? Because from Pop Warner to middle school to high school, they run the same playbook, right? So by the time they get to the high school, I'm not wasting time coaching you or teaching you the program. You know the program.
You know the program.
Now it's just execute.
Correct.
So this is the same thing with education, in my opinion. When you talk about, if I'm gonna fix the high school, I need to fix the middle school that you came from, that feeds into me, and I need to fix the other. So I agree with that part of it.
Okay.
It's going to be interesting to see how he's able to pull it off, you know, with the money that he's talking about spending, you know, with the
Some
time.
big money.
With the time that these people have to put in to make that money. Or are you just getting people that want to make money?
Well, I think the thing about getting the people that make money, because like as you was speaking, somebody just sent me an article as though I ain't been talking about this shit for 2 weeks. People are like, oh, they're gunning in on that 96,000. I'm like, baby, you about to work for that
you can put in some work.
96,000.
You're going to get to work at 6:30 in the morning.
And you gonna leave at 6,
You're going to leave at 7, 8 o'clock at night.
And
And
them
you're going to come
parents-
on Saturday.
Yeah, and them parents you need to
And
be
you gonna
available to them
you
parents.
going to communicate because I'm calling.
Yeah.
And you're going to learn this new curriculum.
Yeah.
You're going to implement this new curriculum. And you ain't taking no days off.
And why this webcam in
Oh,
your
that
classroom
part.
with the Zoom link?
Yeah, you teach
because we
Zoom.
telling you it's for discipline, but really, baby, because we got these apprentices that we've hired in these classrooms, we really getting you to zoom in and teach the teacher apprentices, because there's other kids that's gonna be zooming in this classroom
Right.
looking at you. So it's deeper than 96,000, which is
because
what
I think
everybody
you
is
said
focused on.
when they have a discipline problem in the class, the kid is going to be moved out of the classroom
To a
put it
center.
center who's watching
The class.
classroom.
But who else is logged in, zooming in? All the other positions you couldn't fill, or the apprentices that you hired
And
to
when
start
teacher
not
when
make
teacher
60.
A when the lead teacher's gone, the apprentice is teaching the class. Right?
What they say?
No
But they ain't got no
subs.
certification. How they teach? What
No
they
sub-
teach?
oh, whoa, whoa,
I think
whoa.
it's
No
supposed to be
subs.
people who are working on their certification and have, so they in a program.
That's your sub. And then no librarians. No. This is going to be interesting.
It's
If
gonna
he
be
can pull it off.
But
What they say? All money
ain't good money. Nah.
Right.
Now remember, I think HIZ has been through so many different little changes, and when they implemented that Apollo shit 10 years ago, I was at an Apollo campus, and we made a little extra money, but we had some time that we had to put in, and listen, baby, I got up out of there because I said, oh, y'all keep this. I think it's an extra 10. I was like, y'all can have that
And
extra
then they got
10.
the ride schools now. That
Yeah.
Make a little extra
Which
change.
I don't think that's.
I think that's
gonna be
going
a
away,
thing
right?
Anymore either.
Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe. Well, the ones on the north side are
Yeah,
what
they
they are.
definitely
But
don't.
then these schools that are still underachieving, I think they may still go into that program or not. I don't know. 'Cause
No.
things change every day by the hour.
Yeah. Do y'all think? Oh, let me get your controversial opinion before I move on, because I think we starting on the north side with the Kashmir, the Wheatleys, and the North Forest High School, which we done already adopted or annexed North Forest into HIZ a couple of years back when they had their issues. I feel like, this is my honest opinion, that it's starting there, but I think he finna hit them South schools too. Don't think it's gonna happen.
coming.
It's coming. Okay.
What Dion say? We not hard to find.
Yeah.
It's coming. It's coming down the pipeline, baby.
Yeah, it's coming. So I feel like
You're
everybody's
not
gonna
safe.
hit it. Yeah, nobody's safe
Nobody's
unless you
safe.
Carnegie Vanguard or HSPVA.
They ain't even say.
You don't think they safe? Ooh, I think them parents.
Carnegie's PHS PVA
they
may
might
be
be
safe.
alright.
Because I feel like those parents
It stops
are
there though.
Yeah.
It stops there. You know, they're their own. I mean, Carnegie is what, number 4 in the nation?
in the nation.
Yeah.
Yeah, HP, HSPVA. They're,
Yeah.
you know.
You got they produced the Beyonces of the world. Like
so
you
now-
ain't.
But after that,
Yeah.
Lamar, come see me.
Bel Air, come on
Bel Air,
down.
Come on, see
Come
me.
on down.
West Side.
Come
You
on
too.
down.
Yeah.
All right, Pimp C, what's your most controversial opinion about education or your role as a counselor?
I don't even know if it's controversial. Maybe it's just a plea, or I don't know. But I just want parents to parent.
Oh my God.
Oh, okay.
What does that mean? What does parenting mean to you? What does that look like?
You need to know what we talked about earlier. You need to know what's going on with your children. Like, know what's going on at their school. My mama knew when my report card came. If I didn't give it to her on Friday, Saturday morning, she said, "Where's that report card?" Know what's going on with your kids. I think it's very unfair to believe that the school can do it all. And it seems like after the pandemic, it became worse. Maybe it's just me, but it just seems like it became worse. I don't know if it's controversy, but it's just my belief that they being people, parents, put too much responsibility on the school to make sure that their children are successful. And I don't think that's fair. I do think we play a huge role in it, but we could do a much better job if we had the support. And my mom didn't go to college. That didn't make her ignorant. She communicated with the school to make sure that she knew what she needed to do for me at home, whether that was give me a tutor or whatever she needed to do to help me be successful. So I think my biggest hang up is with these parents not wanting to parent, and they want the school to be responsible for everything, for everything involving their children. And when something doesn't go right, the first thing they say is, "You didn't call me," or "What are y'all doing up here?"
What are y'all doing?
But they was not just doing that here. Whatever they had, like you said, whatever they selling in the bathroom, they didn't get that from the school.
Right.
They did not get that from the school. They brought that with them from your house in the closet, probably somewhere. I don't know, under the porch, wherever they hide.
Because they telling your business.
But mom supported her for that though. She gave her the resources for that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You was there for that because maybe it benefited you in some way. But I think that is, I don't know if it's controversy, but it's a pet peeve. It bothers me that these people do not want to take ownership or be responsible for who they brought into this world.
Who you gave me.
Correct.
I can work with what you give me.
with what you give me, but I'm also need you to help me do that. And I feel like if the involvement was better, then the product would in turn be better as well.
It's just like parents feel like once they get to high school, they grown.
Especially, they really give up, not give up on, but they just kind of whatever in high school. And it really starts in middle school too, especially depending on the culture that you're dealing with. And when they kids become an adult,
doing adult things,
right, or what's acceptable for their culture,
right,
and you know, the boys being the man at whatever age,
like
so
be
it's
more
just,
invested in what's going on.
Especially,
don't step away from it. I need you
the
to be
older they
more
get,
into
you need to
it.
be more involved.
These next 4 years, I need you to be in the business.
Okay, so now I got oh man, we hitting this time. I'm just talking. Listen, I got to interject a little bit because the problem that I've been having, okay, I'm gonna point at you. A problem that I've been having, and I had to have this conversation with an administrator on the campus, is that a lot of the teachers feel the same way. So it's a battle that some of the parents who want to be involved, it's a battle that we're having with the educators, with high school teachers. I went to a PD the other day and I said, oh, these high school teachers walk around here like they really the seniors on campus. Like they are the worst. Like they are so nonchalant. They're just so blasé about everything. And even emailing. To get a high school teacher to respond to an email is like a damn task. And I'm like, hey, I've been emailing. I've been trying to communicate with you about things you need. Girl, I email. I always do these 3 emails that, one at the beginning of the year, one at the middle, one at the end. So at the beginning of the year, I send this survey to all the teachers on my kids' schedule. Hey, tell me what's your favorites. Them motherfuckers won't even respond to that. I'll be like, God damn, I'm trying to gift you. I'm trying to let you know that I'm here. I'm supportive.
I like coffee.
Exactly. Now the coaches,
I got one.
Baby, the coaches are answer because baby, the coaches coming to get their bottle
Well,
the
that's-
first,
they need
third,
something.
and the fifth.
But the coaches need
Yeah,
something from.
but guess what? I need something from you too, baby. We need some
Right.
playing time, so I'm all with that.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
we
yeah.
can work together, but
I
it's
need the teachers to,
Yeah.
to act like the coaches.
yeah.
But the
need-
thing that the teachers are trying to do is, I think they have a fine line and they're missing that fine line. Where they're trying to teach kids accountability,
Right.
And they're trying to teach them how to stand on their own. But you have to realize that child still has a parent.
Yeah.
And even though you want them to learn how to be self-sufficient, you want them to learn how to be able to do things on their own, advocate for themselves, that kid still has a parent.
And their kids are still kids. We're talking about 14,
Yeah.
15-year-olds.
Question,
Okay.
teacher.
All right, teacher.
You teach what? 160?
182.
182.
Yep.
Out of 182, how many emails roughly did you say you get from parents? How many parents of those kids are contacting you?
Constantly.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna say about a good 10%, and I bullshit you not in this instance. I'm gonna tell you the exact 10. The part of the 10% it is.
Yeah.
It's either the heavily involved. My kid has a 504, and I got an advocate that I pay $1 million a year. I want to let you know, remind you of their services constantly. Or it's UIL eligibility time. My kid got a 68.
Complete.
What can we do? Why haven't you done A, B, C, D?
Right.
Those are the only people that are communicating with me. Now, I want to say this, but I shouldn't say this on the show, not yet, because I need to at least get into the second season, before I start making controversial statements.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
where we are, there's a certain demographic of parents who constantly communicate with us, whether it be good things, bad things, but more so, how can we be more involved and what more can we do to help you? And so that's them.
Yeah.
But I hate to say it, us,
Yeah.
unless it's
That's a fact.
Not gonna
athletics
graduate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or not gonna
That's
graduate.
affects
Or
them,
it's a
beneficial
parent
to them.
who's been educated or who's gone through the education system.
Yeah. Or they've had a negative experience with the education system themselves, and so they're kind of turning that around on you. But I hear from them during field trip time when it's time. Oh, my kid can't go on a field trip.
Why not?
It's the dance time, but you said they had to have all their library books turned in before they get a prom ticket. Baby, we've been sending you these library notices since your kid was in kindergarten. This book, Jack and the Beanstalk, been missing since 2002. Like those kind of things. But
Communication is a thing.
it's very rare for me to get involved. Like the emails that I send, hey, what do you like? What can I do to help you? What do you need in your classroom? And I feel like with high school, let me go back to that. I'm the parent that's trying to communicate with the teachers. Like, I see a 65 in the grade book. I see that here's this. What are your retests? Your website ain't even updated, baby. We work in the same district and I know what the policies are. Why your website not updated? Why can I go find these things? And so you struggle with, yes, I know you want my child to be accountable, but my child is also 15 years old, so he's still a child.
Yeah.
But the back end to that too is you don't see what's going on that campus,
Mm.
and you don't know what that leadership looks like, or what's knocking on my door while you trying to ask me for one email. I got leadership emailing me 25,000 things that don't even make a difference in
Okay.
what I'm trying to do in my class. So I think when parents see, oh, you're not emailing me back, you don't know what's going on, what you don't see. And so I'm trying to clean up this piece.
Right.
And then I finally get to your email and it's December, and
Yeah.
you email me back in August.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be mean.
Mm-hmm.
But
Take a minute. Give me a minute.
yeah, I got so much stuff going on and people barking down my neck, stupid stuff.
Yeah.
And or I got Joe Blow Mama who emailed me 14 times
Yeah.
in 20 minutes to
Yeah.
ask me why
coming out
her
now.
baby don't have a sheet of paper with 17 lines on it. It's only got 16. She needs 17.
Right. They talking about you while you talking. You hear that?
Baby.
What?
They talking about your Louisiana coming down.
But she go ahead on
That's that brown.
Yeah, she could pull about 5 more of them. But what I'm saying, parents got to give us a break.
Yeah.
They got to be realistic.
Oh, I get that we got to give y'all a break, but it's like when you have the harassing, I don't like that. Don't harass me.
Hit you once.
But
hit
if
you
I can
twice.
say, hey, Miss Sam,
Yeah.
I'm here, I'm available, I want to do anything I can do to help you, help my child. Girl, I've sent thank you emails like, hey,
Just read
I
the
saw that
email.
you've given like the biology teacher, not biology, what's the people name? The health science. I don't know what the people do. Y'all got so much shit going on over there. But
Another one.
Another one. But
Right, DJ
hey,
Khaled.
I saw that you sent an email. They're good at sending the mass communications. I saw you send an email that said, "Hey, you're giving extra credit for a review." Girl, I would email and say, respond, because you send a mass email to the parents. Reply, "Thank you so much for sending this or informing me. I'll make sure it gets done this weekend. He'll have it Monday morning." Or, "Thank you for giving a second opportunity for tutorials and makeup. He'll be there."
Yeah.
So simple things that high school teachers feel like there are some of us that are still very engaged. Like we say, the high school accountability, drag you by the teeth, baby. This is the mama that's gonna drag you by the teeth across the stage. So whatever I can do to assist y'all, let me help you make your job easier. But if you're not answering me, if you're not responding to me, if you're not allowing me to help you, then I don't want to hear you getting on social media talking your shit, talking about parents ain't helping.
Yeah,
You can't do that.
I find myself sitting at home, and it's crazy because my kids are like you belong to me. Like, can you stop what you're doing for a minute? People calling, parents. You know, I found myself being too good at what I do, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because I feel you. Like, I feel like you always have to find a moment after all the chaos of the day to sit back and say, okay, let me reach out to this parent to say, hey, I heard you.
Right.
Get back with you. I just want to let you know I heard you.
Yeah.
If we can get more folk to do that, though,
Yes,
like teachers,
absolutely.
you know, like I get it. Like, when you leave, right? You want to leave work at work. But sometimes, you know, and I asked how many kids you got, because I'm assuming you got maybe 300-400 kids that you got to deal with. Like, I try to tell my teachers all the time, hey, look, you got 180. I got them all.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so I'm that guy. I'm that guy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shoot that email off because I want to make sure that the dude don't fall on his head.
Yeah.
You know, hey, he ain't doing it. And I always tell my kids, hey, man, don't come home telling me nothing crazy, because I'm going to believe the teacher before I believe you first. If the teacher said it, it's true.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You lying, the teacher not lying.
Yeah.
You know,
In most cases.
in most cases,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know, and at the end of the day, I'm going up there. I'm gonna be in your business, and I try to tell my parents that I deal with all the time.
So scared for that baby too.
Man, nah, hey, look,
I
look,
think it's
he's
beneficial
better. He's
because
better
I
for it
think
now.
the
You know what I'm
kids
saying? 'Cause
So
when
scared.
they
Right.
know that
Right.
you have a relationship
I'm
with
in
the
your
parent,
business, boss.
Yeah.
it makes a complete difference in the way the kid act and how they respond.
I always tell
When
my
they at
kids,
work,
man,
they
just give me the 100 up front. That way I won't kill you on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you know those kids, they gonna come hustle, but like, please don't put this grade at Skyward, because they know their
Yeah.
parent is gonna get the
Yeah.
It makes a
notification.
difference.
I just wish every kid and every parent was that.
Was
you know
that.
What I'm saying?
And I think that's what when you talk about PMC, that's what we're
Yeah.
asking for.
Yeah.
We need some type of involvement. You don't have to be a Rhodes Scholar.
Yeah,
You don't
no.
have to be those things, but communicate
Just be
with me
involved.
and let me help you. So if you can be honest and transparent with me at the beginning to tell me, hey, I'm not really educated on this, I'm not really well versed in this, I need your assistance in this, then bet I got you.
Right.
Let's do it. Let me
Be
work
consistent.
with you.
Yeah.
Be consistent.
Be
You
consistent.
know, and that's
right.
that's
Not
on
just
both,
during
that's
your
on
IEL
both
time.
ends, though. That's
Yeah.
on both ends, though,
Yeah,
right?
facts,
Yeah.
facts,
You know what I'm saying?
facts.
Because there are parents that say, hey, I am consistent, but I don't hear nothing back from the teacher. So
Yeah.
what am I supposed to do?
That's true. And we can't deny that happens. I know we
Oh,
love to
yeah.
take up
Yeah.
the teachers.
I was that guy for a little bit.
I know.
Yeah.
I'll be like, or sometimes if it's a bad
Just got too
weekend and
busy.
it's so many, and I'll be like, well, damn, I got all this, like you said, and yours got lost in the shuffle. But it was,
Yeah.
it's no
It's
will,
hard.
no ill will meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If the parent reach out to us, I'll go down to the hallway and I'll be like, girl, look, that woman done called you by 8
Yeah,
times.
answer.
Please answer.
Let me watch your class
Yeah,
and
the
you can
whole
answer this
team,
email.
right? It's a team
yeah,
effort at
it's
that
a
point.
team
Yeah,
effort.
now they emailing me telling me
Yeah.
I reached out to the
You gotta have one of
teacher.
them teams like you got. Though.
Yeah.
You know, y'all do everything.
Oh man, but my principal don't play that shit.
Yeah,
either.
I got my little one so mad she couldn't go there. She was like, you didn't want that woman in your life, trust me.
She wanted me in her life.
She did.
She wanted
She
me
did,
in
but
her
she's
life.
so mad.
But
Yeah.
I brag about my principal all the time because we are such a cohesive unit because she's so supportive, but we also know that she like a black mama. Black mama from New Orleans. She don't play that shit. So she'll tell you, don't put me in a position to have to write your ass up. So make sure you do everything.
It's what it is.
Yeah, but she'll tell
Keep
you,
it
like,
100.
I'm going to have your back until the
Until
end.
it, but if you don't do what you're supposed to do,
yeah.
what I asked you to do, we got issues.
But even in the meeting with the parents, she's still going to have your back.
Good
Baby, let
principle.
that parent walk out that door. She going to be, don't tell your
That's like the guy y'all had
ass.
before, though, right? And he over at that other school.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. What is your most what is your most controversial opinion about education? See, that's too many elevates to educate you over there
Sorry.
sipping on.
Yeah, my bad.
Getting too familiar
Get
over
one
here.
more.
So, what is your most controversial opinion about education or your role as the administrator on your campus?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be that guy, the piggyback guy, but it's exactly the same as PMC.
Mhm.
Like, the parent piece, you know, growing up, we used to have this saying, it takes a village to raise a child, right? And so just, you know, having that relationship with you know, whether it's teachers, counselors, principals, everybody all on the same page of like, we're trying to get this kid across the stage, like that speaks volumes. And like you said, the product becomes better. But when you don't have that and everybody's kind of doing their own thing, then it just kind of falls apart. And what I see is, or what I have seen is, on the elementary level, there's so much involvement from everybody, right? Like,
yeah.
you know,
Grandma, auntie, everybody.
we making happy face plates today. You taking off from work to come see this happy face
Yeah.
macaroni plate. You know what I mean? And everybody is there. Everybody has input. And then, you know, the older the kid gets, I think everybody starts to slack off. The teachers start to slack off. The parents start to slack off. And we start to give this kid more credit than they probably deserve. We start to think like, because they're mature for their age, they're mature overall, and that's not necessarily the case.
This is true.
And so, you know, you spoke on it earlier, the times where they really need that structure and that guidance and that village the most, we tend not to be there. And so I think that, you know, we really need to hone in on that from, you know, all aspects.
Put our foot on the gas early and keep it there until we get them across the stage.
You done did everything you can do, so at this point you're on your own.
Yeah.
Oh man, like I need you to buy in right now.
Yeah.
Stay, don't leave me.
Yeah.
Stay. I need you most.
But
Right
I was
now.
that parent even when mine was doing his first little year or two in college. Baby, sign the papers. What's the paper that make you sign? Sign that paper. I'm paying the people my money. I sign the paper so I can get your login because I'm not taking my foot off your neck until you
Not
get across this stage.
Not
Like,
gonna be able to do it.
We in this thing.
Yeah.
So
Invest it.
it has to be that way in order to produce productive people. Can I say that if I'm not a PV graduate? I can?
We do.
Okay. Thank y'all. So I think in general, that's the goal as a parent, right?
Tigers.
I think
Go
school
Cougs.
become Walmart. You know, it's your one-stop shop. I drop you off. You should be able to get counseling there at the doctor's office. Your teacher's supposed to support you. She gonna be your minister. She gonna be your everything. And they just drop the kid off, and there's nothing left for them to do.
Yeah.
And then when things don't go right, they're calling for the manager.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just like, well, you filled the buggy up. What the hell you want me to do?
Yeah.
And so I think it's very hard, and I think it's in the role of a counselor. It's the hardest part to be because the counseling is the heartbeat of the school. If your counseling team ain't together,
Oh, I love that.
T-shirt, man.
I know, right?
your whole school gonna fall apart.
Yeah.
Because as an administrator, you know who gonna do your course, your
master
schedule.
schedule.
Yeah.
You know who if your whole entire counseling team says, "Shit, we out." What y'all
finna do?
They're gonna try to do that
Cry.
too.
No,
They
they
think they can, right?
They gonna be sitting in the
I
car.
got a group of folk that think like that.
Yeah.
You know, they made a decision to take scheduling away from, and I said, oh, okay, be great.
Bad idea.
Yeah, right. They calling, hey, I need,
Nah.
what I'm supposed to do?
Nah.
Hey, I had that for you, but
got
you know,
it.
you felt
got
like you needed that. You know, I love what y'all do. APs, I love y'all. Principals, I love y'all more. But what I'm saying is, let me be great.
You're
Let
right.
me do me.
Let me make you look good.
Yes, that's all we ask.
all they try.
Yes.
I mean, I'm gonna make sure that you look good. That's the end game. Period.
Because if you don't look good,
Then I
I
don't
ain't
look
do
good.
my job.
Right.
Because in order for you to look good, I got to do my job.
Hello?
I got to schedule a kid correctly.
Come on.
I got to talk this baby through jumping off the ledge.
Because the
Come on.
boyfriend hugged the girl in the hallway.
Got to talk to mom off the ledge for killing the
Correct.
kids. Like it's kind of.
She up in here with Daniel Greens on. And I
Right.
was like,
Then you about to call me
girl.
about testing. You gonna
Correct.
call me? I'm the 504 coordinator too.
Ooh.
And I gotta go help my teacher be great
Correct.
too.
And
Like,
then when everything
that.
falls apart at the school, I got to rally the whole school
Bingo.
Yeah,
around
yeah.
and tell them, good job.
Who riding in the ambulance?
And who rubbing y'all back while y'all doing that?
Who riding in the
Nobody.
ambulance? Who
Who
going?
the police car,
Right, who
all
going?
that.
Y'all done it all.
All of that.
Man.
And then you sit next to the little boy, where that weed at you?
What happened? Was,
And
yeah.
who told you to bring that to school? Got me sitting in
Oh,
the back
man.
of this cop car. I ain't
All
never sat in the back of no cop car.
Look, the mobile bartender got us open.
We being too
And my
transparent.
knees up
yeah.
to the glass like this.
Uh-oh.
I gotta turn this way. And I'm
Sir,
like,
can you
God.
let the window down?
Wait a minute. But here, these are realities
Yeah.
that people don't understand about
Yeah.
educators. Like I have had to take that ride to go with a kid to turn themselves in for a crime when a
Come on.
teacher has pressed charges against them, or way 20, 30 years ago, I may have heard a story about a kid that had some stuff on him and you send them in to be searched. And I said, or that person said, hey, drop that shit right now. And no AP, sir, I didn't find anything because I know if they take you, I ain't never going to see you again. Yeah. So now I searched and I didn't find anything. But here I am, or here that person was, that teacher friend of mine, grinding a codeine tab into the carpet because I don't know what what search. I don't know what y'all talking about.
ADHD meds.
Yes. Yeah. Those. So, but we do. I think as educators, and again, I think this goes back to the black and brown. I always bring it back to race. People love saying it ain't about race. It is because the things that we do to make sure our kids are successful and to make sure that our kids are not caught up into a system that is really designed against them is crazy. The shit that we the shit that we put ourselves in just to help kids. And so the support from parents is paramount. Like, don't come up in here talking shit to me. You don't know what I've done to save your baby and to save you some money and some legal fees and crying in front of a judge.
That part.
So those are things. But all right, y'all, we gonna wrap it up. I know we done went way over time. It's the drinks. It's the elevation educate. What is this again? Elevate to educate and the Ridgemont Forest Finest signature. Yeah. So again, shout out to the Right Experience Mobile Bartending. We bring the full bar experience to you. I want to thank y'all, some of the best high school counselors and administrators in the area. We couldn't do this without y'all. So to wrap up, we're going to make sure that we have this graduation thing on time for these parents that's getting ready to have some seniors in school. We got the 90% attendance rule, pass your classes. We got the STAAR EOCs, pass all 5. Don't be like me telling your baby you only need 3 unless you're going to be doing a portfolio project with your baby. And there was one more. Oh, the credits. Make sure you have either your foundation 22 hours or your distinguished of 26 hours. And if you do not know what that is, please. Well, look, we're going to go with 26. TEA, okay? But guys, most important thing, if you don't know if your baby is a senior, your baby getting ready to be a senior, you don't even know who your baby's counselor is. Please communicate with the school and learn some things. Be involved in your counselor's life and to help your baby. Help them help your baby so that you don't have to tell grandma and grandpa from Cali to cancel that flight ticket when they when your baby can't walk across stage. Or we not sitting in the parking lot at 3:00 and graduation is at 5 at the Toyota Center trying to get your credit recovery. We didn't even talk about credit recovery. That's okay. Man. That's okay. Credit recovery, guys, is when your kid don't do what the hell they supposed to do, and we give them ample opportunities in the evenings and on Saturdays to come in and do it, and they still don't get it done. Online, at home, baby. I done some credit recovery for some former students to get their NCAA clearinghouse. But we're not going to talk about that on the show. All right? Okay. So, guys, I'm telling all my damn business. I'm going to be unemployed on Monday morning. So okay. Guys. Mobile bartender. We can't do this.
Started some stuff today.
So, all right, guys. So, anyway, I want to thank y'all again for coming on to Ridgemont Forest Finest, the podcast. I appreciate what you guys do so much. We're going to have y'all back. This was too good. Too good. So, shout out again to the Right Experience Mobile Bartending, bringing the full experience to you. Thank you so much for sponsoring today's episode. You got us talking too much, I think, but it was good. So I hope you guys learned something. And of course, if you have questions, comments, concerns, you want anything clarified, please inbox me on Instagram. All right, it's been a good one, and we will see y'all next week. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This podcast was made possible by producer extraordinaire D. Francis at the legendary Lab 7 Studios in Mo City, Texas.